and welcome to what will be episode 15 of Curse of Strahd. Last week would have been 15, but audio issues meant that the entire thing was basically unusable, because OBS settings changed without any indication or input, so yeah, fun times. To recap the events, the group had traveled up into the Svalich woods in search of the Mad Mage and Mount Baratok, and had located the Mad Mage, who requested that they find his spellbook and staff. In the hopes of doing so, they have headed towards Tser Falls, where a wizard had previously battled Strahd. During the trip, Sigismund, the party barbarian, had pushed himself a bit, trying to make the trip overnight, and had driven 4 hours while the rest of the group tried to rest. At the end of that 4 hours, he failed a constitution check, started to drift off to sleep, managed to wake up, jerked the reins as doing so, and sent the cart into a gully, where the party had agreed to finish their long rest and then try and get it out. So, as a note, Kerwin, due to a mismatch of playstyles, Kerwin's player will no longer be joining us. This was also included in the last episode that didn't come out because audio issues. Yay. But 8 hours after Sigismund's gully adventure, the group has rested, or is at the end of their long rest. Currently still at the bottom of the gully with the cart.
Alright, let's assume the plan that we were gonna do from last time, where it was just, rope pulling and trying to get this thing out. Well, with someone to help, at the back push and keep it on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I mean, the question is who's doing what now?
I'll push. You two pull. Esmeralda can look out and see if something's gonna go wrong.
Very well. So then, the two of you bind the ropes end to end and make your way back up the gully and try to find something to loop it around, or find a tree to loop it around and help pull it up as Sigismund tries to push.
Well, how deep is this gully that we need to link the 50 feet of rope?
No, you're right. Well, yeah. I guess one link would work.
And then, because I'm saying, last I checked, I was the only one that had rope.
I think it came standard in like all of your base packages.
I remember trying to find out who had rope was an issue.
That may have just been us forgetting he had rope, to be fair.
No, it was because we had a Karen who wasn't paying attention, a Jeff who didn't check his sheet, and a you who thought he was the only one who had rope, and then me going, I have rope, but then nobody hearing me.
Well, because Skype usually eats you, to be fair.
Also, to be fair, Kerwin wasn't here last week either.
No, Yeah, fair enough. Very fair, actually.
But yes. So, with your combined efforts, everybody give me an athletics test with advantage.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm not a character. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a sweaty, grunting 10 minutes, but you manage to get the cart back up to the top, straightened back out on the road. And Esmeralda declares that she will drive going forward, and whoever would like to sit up front can do so.
Sigismund will sit up front.
You didn't do so well last time. Fair enough. Right. Have to be up front, so.
Alright. And as you continue on to Tser Falls, let's see. Alright. So it takes about 2.5 hours. But you arrive at the bridge over Tser Falls, with the water rushing below, and any sign of your previous passage cleaned up.
Don't we have to check the lake?
Why would we check the lake? We're checking the falls.
Make sense to start here, maybe go down a bit, but it isn't until we have to be there.
Well, how long are we gonna spend searching? Because I point down the 1,000-foot drop. It's gonna take some doing getting down there and back up.
On, but that's not a bench time at this point.
It would.
Probably just check the base of the falls first. So, let's start climbing down.
Alright.
Is there not a path we could take to?
You could take the path around, otherwise it's a climb down the cliffside beside the falls.
Nico's trying really hard not to pull a keyleth. Nico's trying really hard not to pull a keyleth.
By all means, go cliff diving.
Why? You have. Wait.
I do, but this is actually, the surface tension is broken on this. There's no, it's not just slamming into a flat plane of water. The surface tension is actually broken. I could probably high dive this shit.
No, stop. That's bad.
I'm gonna high dive the shit. Fuck it.
Very.
Michael, I want to remind you of how the falling is going to work here.
I'm reminding you of how physics work, which Miko has a very juvenile understanding of physics, so I won't die.
There.
Because science can't kill me. Only I can kill me. I'm doing it.
So as the other two start to climb down, and Donnel decides, fuck it, you only live once.
Passes him. Considering I'm almost twice as fast as he just maybe roll a perception real quick?
Go ahead.
Because that's 1,000 feet. Perception to me.
Look, Miko needs to do stupid shit once in a while.
Nope, I don't notice.
You were already starting to climb and
Don't notice.
assumed he was
It's
moving towards
actually
the edge.
I did not state I was climbing, so I will roll the perception.
I would argue that it has to run off passive perception.
I would argue that Pat just rolled a perception. Also, alright, fair enough. My passive perception is 12. GM, how hard is it to miss this giant farm boy going, I'm gonna dive down there? Because I get the sneaking suspicion, if we go off passive perception, I notice.
It's pretty hard
you
to
see
miss.
Donnel. You see Donnel moving, yeah.
Yeah,
The thing is, I'm already jumped.
Yeah, well, you see him like making a running leap or a running start to his leap towards the falls.
I am going to tackle him before he can jump
me a
off
dexterity
the
save.
falls. Alright.
I are you opposed to athletics? What?
I mean, I'm gonna make an athletics test.
Not really a fair thing since I made a dexterity save, but...
I mean, it is, because I'm jumping.
That would be acrobatics to
Well,
dive.
also,
I'm doing the jump.
well, I was.
Then
Well,
Donnel is not a very dexterous boy, he's just jumping in. Donnel's understanding of water is that he should be fine because it's not, a smooth pain.
While the dexterity save was impressive, a critical 28 athletics means that you are dashing towards him as he takes his dive off the top.
dives. Sigismund looks down. Oh wait, he's got fucking wings. He'll probably be fine.
The one thing this adventure was not designed to prevent using.
I can fly. Well, shit. Wasn't seeing that coming.
Alright.
Right. I'm making athletics to climb the fuck down, I guess. How long will the trip take on... Nothing. I guess that's an unreasonable amount of time.
It's like 4 or 5 hours.
Yes, we're
already
not
2.5
doing anything
hours.
else. And we're climbing down, whatever. I'm climbing down.
This dotted path, by the way, is not a road. This is a footpath down 1,000 feet beneath us.
Yeah. So, Donnel, you are racing towards the water at the bottom.
Sticking as close to the waterfall as I can.
But I'm going to give you a nature test real quick.
A nature test? That thing that I'm amazing at?
Donald, it is as the water is rushing up to meet you that you remember from around Cursed Fields there were rivers that had spots where there were drops in them. And you remember hearing that if you got caught under one of those drops, the current would just keep pushing you down until you drowned.
Mm-hmm.
Such a current spot is currently racing towards you at several hundred feet per second.
And we're looking for something at the bottom of it. So the wings come out, and I'm pushing down. We're looking for a staff at the bottom of this.
Okay.
We are specifically looking for something that could very well be jammed down there. Are we not?
It's potential. But while he is popping his wings and carefully making his way making his way as carefully as he can from the air into the water, Sigismund and Sesna, Give me an athletics test to climb down.
As I see him flying with his wings just straight down, so he's gonna stop and just wait at the top. Because there's a chance he just finds that and flies back up, and then I've climbed down there for nothing.
Sesna, it's fairly easy to make your way down. It's a rough-hewn stone surface, so there's plenty of handholds. And going down is quicker and easier than going up, so... what was the second one for?
Well, I couldn't scroll down enough to see my result.
Ah.
I had thought that it just didn't give me my result, so I pressed it a second time. And then it sent me all the way to the bottom of the chat, so I could see both of them. When,
Also, shame background noise.
It is active.
Gotta love roll 20 sometimes.
Also, I'm gonna talk over Pat, Jeffrey.
Why not hear it?
Might be your personal master volume is set to low.
No, it's halfway. Oh well.
No,
yeah, that is in fact too.
It is because of this quiet background stuff. And don't forget, Skype also lowers the sound of everything else around it.
Also, Jeffrey, last I checked, your laptop is currently set to 70% volume on the laptop itself. So,
Anyways.
as Sister quickly and effectively makes her way down, being a monk and all. Plus, you know, weather-worn stone is more than enough handholds. And going down is a bit quicker than going up. But, as she is climbing down, Donnel, you have hit the water.
Yep, it's a stupid decision, but I'm confident in my own physical strength to get out of the range of the current. I just have to get as deep as I can to try and scavenge for it. We're looking for this staff and gonna find this fucking staff.
Alright.
As I see him at the water, Sigismund is gonna wonder to himself, wait, did I show him the picture? I don't think I showed him the picture.
How hard is it to find a piece of wood?
The right piece of wood. That's the
He
that's
won't
the
be able to
problem.
tell the difference.
He probably won't.
He's a crazy old man.
We just need to give him something that he can believe is his arcane focus and it'll work. That's how this does, right?
If you look at Sesna's hair, she looks nothing like a tentacle horror terror of the deep.
You're not wrong.
To be fair, he did compare it to one that was on fire, so...
Yeah, it's marginally closer, I think.
Also, shut up, farm boy, you don't know.
Anywho, Donnel, being under the current, it is as strong as you'd expect water falling 1,000 feet to be. Go ahead and give me an athletics test at disadvantage to try and, you know, not be swept with the current. Michael?
Can I be heard now?
Yeah.
Okay, my Wi-Fi was doing that thing where it died.
Like,
Fuck you, Pat. Where's my feelings? Is it pushing me down? Is it pushing me down, or is it pushing me down and away from the waterfall?
It is pushing you down and away from the falls.
Okay, yeah, I don't want that. I want to be as close to the base as I can to search this fucking place. Yes!
Donnel, you're trying to push, but pushing
gonna
against
use
that
the-
much water moving that
I use
fast.
luck to reroll that d20 there.
Go ahead.
help! Help!
So
Help!
it's better than a natural one, even though by the rules, because they don't believe in nat ones. I really don't get that. Nat ones should always be bad, but that's just Miko.
I mean, in combat, I think they auto miss, but
Yeah,
5e was also
That's-
trying to streamline, so.
fair. Look, I loved the laying waste fumbles. I'm not gonna lie.
Anyway. You're trying to push through the current, try and get down to the exact bottom, but the way the water hits the bottom and then sweeps up is carrying you away from the bottom or from the foot of the falls. And eventually, mercifully, does actually push your head up above the water.
Oh, I'm fine. I can hold my breath for a long time according to 5e rules.
Yep.
Hold my breath for fucking 3 minutes. Oh,
Man, I really can't wait to get back to Pathfinder. I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
Because I like it so much better.
It's much more thought out and detailed, but again,
5e is streamlined. 5e is streamlined.
they were trying to get away from the bloat of 3.5 to try and get more people into the game. After
Path-
4th edition failed to do that.
Much more thought. It's much more thought out and detailed. Unfortunately, the other problem there is Pathfinder is also much more thought out and detailed.
No, Pathfinder is more thought out and detailed. The problem therein lies, Pathfinder has, like... How old is Pathfinder? Like, 10 years of, like, supplement books?
It has all the bloat of 3.5.
And its own.
It is stuffed.
Which is what I like about it, not gonna lie, you can build a lot of super customizable things, but
There's a
besides the point, Donnel can hold his breath for 4 minutes. I would have been maybe fine as long as there's not an aboleth under here.
Unfortunately, as it turns out,
That's the
Says
shame
that
to
there
his next
is an
description.
aboleth. Turns out Sesna's just been an aboleth wearing a wig the whole time.
you still fell in love with it.
Look, man,
I mean, it's an aboleth, so we didn't really have a choice in the matter.
I was about to say!
Oh,
Sigismund just looking down at these two in this lake. Yeah, I'm a go.
You know what, I'm not gonna mess with this.
So, that wagon.
Anyway. But Sesna, as you're climbing down, you can see Donnel's head has breached the surface of ways down river.
Good.
We need someone with a thicker skull than me! Mr. Sigismund! I think this is your forte!
Yeah, no.
How about it, Jeffrey? You want to throw another character off Tser Falls?
Hold on. My first character was unconscious. He didn't get thrown anywhere.
No, your character did the throwing.
And, also threw himself off a bridge.
Okay, listen. I'll say this one last time, and then I'm never gonna say it again. In my defense, I was so used to playing Fighter-Man, I was sure I had the action surge to drown Strahd, and then run away. Turns out I did not. That is all I have to say. Goodbye.
Anywho. But yes, Donnel is partway downstream, Sesna, as you reach the bottom.
You gonna be good?
I'll be fine. I can hold my breath for a very long time. It's more a matter of I can't get to the base to look for that stick what we're supposed to be finding.
Just take off one shoe, take off the other shoe, and
Oh god, now I'm realizing where I fucked up.
just
You're in the water in your full kit.
That's fine, guys. It'll be fine.
So got his wings.
Look, man,
Yeah.
look. No. It's the fact that I am soaked through the bone.
And doesn't have any dry clothes.
That's fine. I'll walk around naked.
I've got some spare clothes he can wear.
All I need is the
Yes.
pants.
At any rate, Pat trying to talk.
Yeah, so taking up both shoes and plunging head first into Tser Falls and trying to do a very similar thing. So, athletics with disadvantage.
Yep.
This says no, you're not as thick-skulled as Mr. Sigismund.
I'll have you believe. Well, thank you.
No, don't open your mouth to talk. Your head's underwater. You fool.
Damn it! Why did you confuse me when I was plunging myself into the deep?
Seeing that both of them had failed at this, Sigismund is going to look down.
It's debatable how much you can see from 1,000 feet up.
He notices a red blip disappear under the water, and then a minute later pop back up.
Yeah, considerably
Oh, wait,
downstream.
Looks to Esmeralda. So I guess it's your turn, right?
Esmeralda stabs him.
Do you not know how to swim?
I know how to swim. But you see, on the way over here, I realized how shitty of an idea this was.
No one is asking you to jump off. Just climb down and help.
I probably have the best chance. Yeah, sure. Climb down.
Give me an athletics test.
While he's climbing down, I want to have one more good old college try at this.
As you
Same.
As you fish yourselves out of the river, move back up and try it again.
Hold on. I'm gonna take off my backpack. I'm gonna tie it to my ankle with a length of rope. I'm gonna use this as a weight to help me sink faster.
You know,
How long do your wings last again?
They last a minute. The wings are not gonna help. The wings are just to get me down here and not die. So I
Fair
can have
enough.
Look, Miko's gonna be
All right.
completely honest with you guys. In level with you, I wanted the glory of trying to find the stick before everyone else climbed down.
that's fair. Meanwhile,
Kind of the reason I jumped.
Sesna's going to do a thing that, you know, she probably should do, and look, try to remove any unnecessary things that'll help or keep her from, you know, swimming and or getting out of this water. Like, for instance, a shirt, because swimming with a shirt is a pain in the ass to do, as it turns out.
So is
By
this
the way, I actually found rules before we get to Donnel dying
so it says
about regarding to water and 5e.
I will get into them later.
Well, I was talking about how my armor's fucking me.
Oh, was it in Ghost of Saltmarsh?
Yep.
Yeah, because that expanded the water rules.
Yeah, so I guess, Donnel, you get to make your attempt first.
Yeah, Donnel's not noticing this, thankfully. The boy probably couldn't handle this. So does my brilliant weight give me any advantage?
Getting in? Sure. Getting out? Maybe. Maybe not.
I will say you can make your athletic checks at a straight roll, since you are.
Okay, that's
There's
all I
something
need.
trying to weigh you
Natural
against
one.
it.
Alright, now he needs to get out.
Well, now I need to look around for a minute or two to find the fucking stick, and then I need to get out.
I'll let him do his whole shebang before I roll.
Donald, give me a perception check at disadvantage, because underwater, where the falls are hitting, and kicking up all the silt at the bottom.
Guys, Donald's gonna be here for like a minute. Oh wait, no. Oh, never mind. I actually have the best passive perception of the group.
Well, tied for with Sesna.
Oh, never mind. I was like, yeah, no, actually.
Nice!
My passive perception is 15. Donald's a very perceptive boy, apparently.
Oh, yeah, you forgot.
It's not a good thing.
For a moment, no, it won't be.
So, Donald, you're sort of parting the silt, like kind of trying to keep it away from your eyes. And as you're searching, you're running your hands along the bottom, and you can feel the river stone at the bottom, but nothing that you wouldn't expect to find here.
Do I find a pretty stone?
I mean, a lot of them are sort of run rather smooth by the constant
I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna cast light on it, and that's gonna be the end of this little narrative bit.
Yeah, there's nothing down there.
Oof, well, 9. Further down. Damn it! I'm gonna look around from where I am, because god damn it.
In your perception test. Sesna, for you, it's going to be just a standard perception, yeah. Because you're looking around and there's nothing here either. At least not that you can find. You're kind of at the point where the silt starts to settle down, but even running through the silt at the bottom of the river, there doesn't seem to be anything there.
She's gonna crumble. Just tread. Well, keep her head above water for a bit as she continues down before actually getting out of the river.
Now a note, as Sigismund reaches the bottom. When Sesna was stripping, does she believe in undergarments?
Was she raised by elves?
No, she was raised by monks, so...
So yes, in the undergarments. So she looks like a Fallout character whenever they take all their clothes off. She's wearing the fucking tank top and the boy shorts. Because that is significant. That is significantly more aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Donnel, having found nothing below the falls, as Sigismund reaches the bottom, seeing...
Senor GM, I have a question. As Sigismund gets down there, he's gonna look and he's gonna think, how long ago was this fight, apparently?
You're not sure. The Mad Mage, if he did give you a time, you're not sure you trust it.
And then I'm going to think, hang on, often the people scavenge shit. I want to roll a history, because I want to see if I know who might have found his staff here and just taken it.
Go ahead and give me a history test.
Nico's trying to remember if Shane described the staff in the Vistani treasure wagon and we missed it.
Shane's gonna give you a little hint. He did not. Sigismund's... The Vistani might... You know there's a Vistani camp near the falls. They might have They might have found it floating in the river and taken it.
Sigismund's gonna call out, hey! I'm gonna go see if the Vistani have it!
Sigismund, you do know that Donnel... You still haven't seen Donnel yet. You got down here and he was nowhere to be found, but you see Sesna bobbing from a little ways further down.
Yeah, just
Looking
gonna yell out,
somewhat nettled.
hey, Sesna, where's Donnel?
Underneath the water!
Long... Okay. Alright. Underneath the water. Fucking hell.
There's a lot of that!
Well, that is... Well, fair enough. It is an answer to my question.
So I'm gonna wait, because... Okay. Because I'm not sure when I said that... Okay. Did I see, like, a dot bob out when he first jumped?
Him being... Well... When he first jumped? Describe to me exactly what you're asking for here.
Okay, so when I saw him fly into the water, did I see him, like, get thrown out of the falls? Or, like, the base of the waterfall?
With him having darker hair and skin, it's a bit harder to tell.
I'll have you know his hair is pink, sir.
What?
I'll have you know you're colorblind as fuck, sir.
Yeah, that's raven blue-black, my dude.
I don't have a fucking token on him, I can't argue. But anyways. The second thing is also possible. Okay, so my main question here. I want to get a timeline. How long has he been down there?
You've probably seen him on the side of the river while you were climbing down and kind of checking how far down you still had to go. While he was,
Probably saw him tying his backpack to his ankle.
Yeah.
Can you save a boy intent on being so foolish?
Well,
Sigismund is going to take off his three-piece suit.
Look, man, Donnel is like the epitome of the lucky fool. He has not been punished very much for making stupid decisions.
Sigismund is... Oh, yeah, so
Yeah,
as...
Mr. Magoo. He's a young Mr. Magoo. Come on.
He has Magooed his way
Sigismund-
through life.
Sigismund is going to take off his three-piece suit and then go into the water to find the boy.
Athletics at disadvantage.
Ah, but Senor GM, as I'm thinking about this, and then I recall that he tied his backpack to his foot, I would like to rage.
It will matter for all of 6 seconds.
It will matter when I get in there. Yes.
Shane, let him waste a class resource.
Alright.
It gives me the normal roll for an athletics.
Yep.
So, yeah. Not at all a waste. Athletics!
I mean, yes, it is whenever you roll with a +10.
So Sigismund, you're able to...
There's a point where disadvantage stops hurting you,
Yeah.
and you're at it.
No.
You really are.
Yes.
I'll run you through the math after the session, but...
This isn't Pathfinder where you roll like a +22 and still miss.
Yeah, not looking forward to that, by the way.
I mean, only if you're trying to grapple an ancient red dragon. Which, why are you doing that? It's just gonna fly away
Because
with
who
you.
doesn't want to suplex the great red dragon?
Yeah, the problem is you're about the size of its toes, which is gonna fly off with you.
Have you played
trying to
Dragon's
spit it.
Dogma?
Yes, he has. Haven't you heard about how you know what? That's a story that people don't need to hear.
I'm not ashamed.
What did you do? What did you do?
Okay, so...
Dragon's
I
Dogma
demanded
no
character
after
create-
session.
Yeah, after session, but...
Yeah, no, after, yeah.
Now they're ashamed just because it's gonna sidetrack.
But, yeah, so I've jumped in looking for the boy.
As he's doing this, Donnel, as he's coming in, you realize that there's nothing here.
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Damn it.
A mountain. Why show me this?
Did we encounter him in a cave?
Oh,
Yeah, we just met a deer. We just met an elk in a clearing.
Yep.
We didn't encounter him in a cave. Donald's gonna sit there and peruse this for a moment, as he kind of
Underwater.
plays with the rock underwater, holding his breath, because Miko cannot fathom being able to hold your breath for 4 minutes.
You're a typical anime character.
As Donald sits there and perusing for it, hits him. It finally hits his 3 wisdom roll prior, and Donald's gonna try and swim to the surface.
Try is the correct word.
Yeah, it's disadvantage.
I think you mean it's super disadvantage, sir.
Well, unfortunately, disadvantage doesn't stack with itself, so...
That's another thing I miss about Pathfinder, being able to just stack on penalties to rolls.
Nice.
Or so just trying to swim to get the current to do the rest of the work for me.
You're sort of trying to swim back into the current as Sigismund is reaching you.
He sees a very faintly glowing blip as I'm carrying the light stone still.
Yep. And...
Well, no, he's seeing that there's a light, and then all of the silt. Oh my god.
he occasionally sees the light through all the silt.
I'm going to try and pull the boy.
That's why
above
my
the
thing
water.
is so high. I forgot I have that luck stone. That's why all my rolls are 1 higher than they should be. I was confused.
Yeah, we would find that. But seeing that the boy is still underwater, do I see that he's tied his backpack to his foot?
I mean, right now, it's a light vaguely illuminating a cloud of silt. As you are currently under where the current is hitting. Your 6 seconds have worn out. Your rage is ended.
Wait, so does he see? Does he get there as Donnel's like just managing to swim back into the current and being zipped down?
It's less of a zip and more of a steady pull, due to the extra weight on your ankle. It's like when you put an anchor in, but it doesn't quite grab anything, so you're just sort of bouncing along the bottom.
Fun. So yeah, Donnel's just doing that until he gets to a point where he can, get away from the current and just pull his bag up and swim to the surface.
Sigismund is getting steadily pulled down current.
I'm just gonna follow him on the off chance he can't get out of the water.
Go ahead and
And then suddenly an aboleth.
Go ahead and give me athletics with disadvantage, because you are still, trying to maintain certain. You aren't just completely surrendering to the current, so.
This shit right here. This is why I rage.
So Sigismund, you started to swim, like, you had entered the water and were swimming towards where you saw the light, and as you hit the current proper where the water comes tumbling down, you hit the wrong side of the current, where it pushes you back towards the rocks and the bait and the bottom of the fall, pushing you down.
This is why I hate
back.
swimming. So I'm being forced to the bottom, I hear.
Yep.
So okay, because Sigismund can hold his breath for 5 minutes, I believe. His Constitution modifier is 4, I think.
Yep.
That's 50 rounds.
Yeah.
Hey, Sesna, did you want to spar for 45 rounds before we go save Sigismund?
Fuck is this game?
Power fantasy. Anyways.
Basically, but still. Let's go.
As it turns out, everyone is a champion pearl diver. But Sesna, after another minute, you see from where you're kind of making your way out of the river, you do eventually see the light shining in the water where Donnel is being pulled down current. Donnel, you're in an area where you're fairly confident you could maybe at least get yourself to the edge and then start pulling the sack out once you actually have, when you can at least stand.
I'm gonna do that.
Alright? Athletics with disadvantage.
Oh no, my hubris!
That's just gonna go about, getting rest because this didn't pan out.
Yeah. Donnel, it's a bit of a struggle because you get your feet in the silt and the gravel at the bottom of the river.
Oh,
and
right,
then,
this bag is like 100 pounds, fuck!
And then the bag is pulled past you and almost pulls you off your feet, and you manage to scramble up and start pulling it up out of the water.
Alright, this bag weighs like 80 pounds. Start fishing it back.
And you both notice that Sigismund hasn't emerged from the water yet.
Speaking of which, Shane, test.
Yeah, give me another athletics test. Same as the first.
You can't possibly roll 49 nat ones.
Don't play with that shit. I have logs I could show you. One of my players in the Pathfinder game kept trying to cook whenever, their character had no chance of doing it, namely because their character had previously rolled 3 nat ones. So I made a fucking joking roll that an NPC was gonna help them cook. The NPC got a nat 20, and out of spite, they kept rolling cooking tests until they finally succeeded one. I shit you not, 23 nat 1s in a row.
So they burned down the inn.
Yeah. At one point, they had accidentally created a food homunculus.
Hold on, I need to find something now. Google 1d4 chan to me.
But yes, does Sigismund survive?
before I go on that, I have to say, behold my latest culinary creation. The lettuce imp? Yes, the lettuce imp.
But why though?
It just sort of screams when you try and cut it. It's actually horrifying.
Question. Just out of nowhere. Yeah, I can wait.
But, Sigismund. You managed to finally, force your way... You sort of, let the water hit you down and you just sort of focus on getting down current from
I've
this
been knocked down. Well, this was annoying.
Listen, you managed to get yourself out of the death spiral of being pushed against the same rock, basically being pinned by the current. You managed to work with the current and get yourself out from under it, and you pop your head up a little bit downstream.
I am reminded of my father's swimming lessons. Dad, I don't know how to swim. Well, time to sink or swim, bitch. What? Ah! I will not sink. But yes, I'm out. I get out. Here as a newborn babe. Because I'm not getting my fancy clothes wet.
Donald's reeling in his rucksack. Didn't find it. Found a nice rock. Also, I think I have... Sesna.
Oh,
Throwing on his shirt.
Yeah. Sesna was still dressing as you were fishing your pack out of the water, but...
Look, there's no good place to look right now.
It's really not.
I was told not to watch. I was told never to peek on women, and then Miss Sigismund's fucking stepping out naked as a mole rat. And this is improper to stare at another man's ass.
Look,
like a mole rat
I
with half
go
a
for my
bear's
bag,
hair.
and I get out my tribal, Celtic... I get out my
He gets out his
tribal,
kilt.
kilt, and then I just put that on.
So he gets out of the water and just... Donnel looking over and be like, oh, I understand the water is rather cold.
God, I didn't want to be the one to make it. Thank you, Pat. I didn't want to be the one to make the water joke. Dick joke.
You're welcome. But I'm here.
Donnel.
Only. Or
Donald's going to look down at his soaked equipment. How bad is this? How much extra weight is this 20-pound suit of armor?
The armor's not really the problem, considering it's leather and metal.
Well, it's leather and metal over gambeson.
Yeah, the gambeson being the operative issue, but...
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
How uncomfortable is it?
Oh, it's chafing like a motherfucker, but...
You know, I probably should have thought that through a little more.
yeah.
Donald's gonna start pulling his armor off.
As he's doing that, Sigismund is going to approach with a fresh set of traveler's clothes and throw them at him, or near him. There you go.
Now, Shane, the question nobody asks, are these men or women's clothing? Because these were just the clothes we found in that random stump.
Looking through it, it's... From the sizes of them, it's a fairly thin man for the people you've seen from Barovia, or a fairly large woman. But it's pants and a shirt and a pair of buckled hide shoes. So
How well do they fit? Considering these are a stranger's clothing.
they're uncomfortable, a little tight in places, and a little short in others. The pants ride up a bit, showing a bit of your ankle and calf.
Oh no, how scandalous.
Aye, indeed. And the shirt's doing that
Well,
awkward thing, like when you've had a shirt for years and you've outgrown it, and it's starting to show a bit of the gut, a bit of your abdomen.
Donald's gonna do the opposite thing. Donald's gonna take the shirt off, and Donald's gonna tie the shirt around his waist, and he's gonna unloosen the pants so they cover enough. We're gonna be in the back of a wagon. It'll be fine.
I mean, I'm just gonna kill it at this point, so...
Look, man,
yeah.
I've worn really uncomfortable, really small clothing before. It's
Yeah.
not fun.
Yeah.
So Shane, because why not? Just remember that there was a girl raised in a monastery by a bunch of monks. This is
your fan service scene. Yes, this is the equal opportunity fan service moment.
She's having a hard time with both of this.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Seeing that...
Mr. Sigismund, could you help me out with this? These clothes are very tight.
Listen, I've got my tribal stuff here, just wear my suit. You're about my size.
Mr. Sigismund, how covered in blood is this suit?
I clean it.
So how covered in blood is this suit?
Not
'Cause blood's
very.
hard to clean out.
I mean, blood is hard to clean out. Yours and the enemy's. And yes, while you would normally keep it clean, it's been an eventful few days. You haven't really had a downtime to wash it.
You know what?
Is it a better fit?
It is a better fit. Sigismund is closer to your size than whoever these clothes belong to.
Oh, thank Pelor.
You know,
Sigismund, how do you walk around so dapper all the time?
I keep the very nice clothes that a merchant family gave to me clean. Until I have you, cleaning them hasn't been an issue.
Well, I'm glad we can make your life more eventful.
Meanwhile,
Well,
Sesna,
it got really eventful and annoying because the tailor that I had system was invalid and I'm not allowed back there anymore. So there's that.
As Donnel's pulling on the suit. God, stuffing. This is gonna be terrible. This is gonna take so fucking long to dry. Stuffing his wet clothing and armor into his bag.
You were about to say anything, Shane?
Sesna, while your isolated upbringing has left this as a bit of a rare sight for you, the constant tests and trials and lessons of patience and meditation and blocking out the external, it about balances out.
If only just.
I'm just gonna go climb up this wall real quick. I'm not gonna do that immediately because I need to probably dry out a wee bit. I should probably go check out those Valaki people, and you know what? I'm gonna go check out those Valaki people. I'll see you guys in a minute. Bye.
Vistani?
No, she
Yes,
just starts walking up. She starts Spider-Man walking up the wall. Nope, be back. No, to Valky.
No. Walking towards the Vistani camp. I'm gonna go check out those Valaki people. You mean Vistani? Yes, that.
Seeing that she is going that way, Sigismund, we should probably go with her. And is going to call up to...
I think you should stay with Esmeralda. No offense, Mr. Sigismund. You don't really like the Vistani too much, and you've been very astute about making that clear.
I don't. But who knows, I could meet someone that could change my mind. As I turn and yell up, "Hey, we're gonna go check the Vistani camp!
What?
We're gonna go check the Vistani camp!"
I was also saying we shouldn't really... One of us should probably stay with the wagon.
Oh, Esmeralda's with the wagon, she's fine.
Well, with Esmeralda and the wagon, considering, our enemies are, vampires.
That?
They invited us to
Strahd!
dinner. They invited us to dinner. I doubt they're gonna, pick off one of us now. That'd just be bad form.
Vampires. Actually, it's vampire.
Do I need to come down there?
No!
What?
What?
God damn it. Warren Lord damn. You know what? I'm just gonna go. Donnel, you talk to her.
As you're shouting 1,000 feet up over the noise of a waterfall.
Yeah, no, Sigismund. Donnel, you talk to her. He's just gonna head towards the Vistani camp.
What was that, Mr. Stiggins? You motherfucker!
What? Mr. Sigismund, we're talking at normal volume next to a waterfall!
What?
Uh...
I gave Donnel my dry boots.
Yup! They're quite comfortable.
Well, I'm gonna get into my tribal footwear, and by
He's
tribal
walking
footwear,
around
I mean
with
no
moccasins.
shoes. Moccasins. And as I'm walking in Barovia, I'm gonna think to myself, you know, I laughed at those, in my head I laughed at those people and they gave me those fancy clothes. I've made a terrible mistake.
I mean, Mr. Sigismund, as he's putting on his shoes, I could just wear those if you'd like.
No, that's fine.
You can take the man out of the jungle, you can't take the jungle out the man.
Besides, you gotta have
forest.
You gotta have a fancy suit, since Sesna's gonna be in a fancy dress or something.
Well, no, Mr. Rahadin's already gonna get that covered for me. I asked him to. And I totally trust that man's gonna do what he said.
Who's the what? Okay.
Them nobles have to. Those nobles have, their fancy dinner practices. I'm fairly certain he's not gonna be dishonest about getting me something to wear.
So you want to trust the man? You know what? It's fine.
I'm not gonna lie, it also looks fun walking around in that.
And a kilt in Muggus. Okay.
Miss Sigismund, my life was very boring up until, like, a week ago.
My life was still pretty terrible up until a week ago. Now I'm just much more mobile.
I think you would have liked being a farmer.
Maybe. You know what I'd like? Owning a house. With a wife. But first, apparently, I'm killing Strahd, so...
Well, first, you're actually, I distracted you long enough. Get going. Go on, get.
Yeah. Going towards the Vistani camp.
He's going on and getting.
But as you hurry along to the Vistani camp... Ah, wait, hold on.
No!
There were other tokens on this map. You were about to walk on yourselves.
Okay.
Donnel, how'd you get here?
What are you talking about, Mr. Sigismund?
There we go.
I'm just a background asset. Look, the game engine ran out of other NPC models, so they just stuck me here.
God damn it, I hate when
I'm
that
not
happens.
supposed to talk to y'all.
Having had apparently a significant lead on the other two.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna enter or we'll walk up to the camp.
A moment. But yes. You make your way down the muddy path through the deep ruts that provide evidence of the comings and goings of the wagons. The canopy of mist and branches giving way. And you see a similar number of Vistani to the last time you were here, lounging by the fire, drinking, talking. Madame Ava's tent in the distance.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Doesn't anyone try to stop me?
A lot of them look at you and are kind of trying to. You see some of them are trying. It's kind of obvious in their face, trying to decide if they know you or not. But then one of them towards the back just kind of points out, "Ah, you were here before, yeah?"
Turn around. Yes, I was.
That's the one that told us the story about the wizard. I remember him.
What brings you back here?
Well, I'm looking for something that was lost in Tser Falls, and well, I had a hunch that it might be here. You guys might have found something.
You see a series of nervous glances among each other before the same one pipes up again. What exactly were you looking for?
Well, truthfully, it was a book, staff, and I give him a rough description of the staff.
There's a couple more nervous glances before he just kind of swallows and replies, "Well, bad luck, friend. We found the staff, but, well," and he points up towards the top of the cliffs in the direction of Castle Ravenloft. Strahd's elf came and took it shortly after we got it.
These ones seem reputable. I don't feel like doing an insight. I probably should.
As for the book, that we were allowed to keep, but I think somebody took it into Valaki and pawned it. Or was it Barovia? Liana! It was Barovia! I gave it to the sisters to pawn.
Oh, those three.
Yeah. Don't know what they did with it, but oh well.
Oh.
That is a long and tiresome journey to go get that.
About this time, Sigismund starts to catch up.
Right. Okay.
By the way, would any of you mind if I dried off these clothes here? Because I had to take a dip in the river, and well, yeah.
Place them by the fire.
As she's moving towards the fire, this fucking hill barbarian looking motherfucker with a great axe over his back and a blood spear.
Well, an ominous looking spear at least, but yeah. Several of the Vistani start to draw
spear
scimitars.
in my hand.
Several of the Vistani draw scimitars and hold bottles in their offhands as they stand up.
Actually, I have two spears.
the legendary fighting style.
They draw the sword themselves.
Gets ready for a fight because I expect her about to jump me and then just look over where they're looking. Oh. Sigismund?
Fucking... They learned from Pathfinder, they're about to fight like Cade and Kalian.
Sigismund. As she said, as he looks at her, and she says his name in his head, Sigismund. Fuck, what's her name? Sarah? Sesna. Sesna, that's what it is.
I mean, it's fucking impossible for him to forget, because Donnel refers to everyone by their first name.
Yeah.
Like, constantly.
Listen. They all draw their scimitars. Okay, now
Did
listen.
you break a mug there, Maiko?
No. Small plate.
Ah.
I don't feel bad. I broke a pie dish today. Worst part was, like, I just saved it from breaking, and then, like, it fell again. But anyway, so yeah, they have their scimitars drawn. Okay, so listen. I'm not here to fight any of you.
Is this one was you? One of these was Sesna?
Yeah. Yeah, he was with us when we were looking for the staff and book. Also, by the way, so the book and staff are in two different places. One's, well, up in Ravenloft, the staff that is. Elfman came and took.
Of course
So
it is.
there's that. The book went to Barovia and got pawned off.
I know some people in Barovia. I can probably go get it.
I mean, I know the people who apparently pawned it off, so.
Yeah, but people like me in Barovia. You're just the outsider that people are taking bets on to die.
You know, that's probably entirely true.
Elfman. Strahd and Elfman.
Not odd question. Looking at the Stahd, Whose camp is this?
It's not that I don't remember. It's that she doesn't respect him anywhere near enough.
No, I know. It's just a humorous idea to me.
But actually, this being one of the first times Sigismund has ever been here, looking at the Vistani. By the way, whose camp is this?
Madame Ava's.
Oh, I need to thank her.
I don't know who that is. But you say her name with
The second oldest woman in the valley.
It was the first.
Dead is what she is.
Yeah.
No, I want them to say it. It was the first.
Baba Saga.
Ah, funny story. Madame Maid is now the oldest woman in the valley.
This kid and another kid beat her to death in her bathtub.
Yeah, funny story. She's dead. Like, she didn't even put up a fight. Like, her house was trying to kill me, but then these two, well, the girl and the other, the big one, just killed her in her bathtub. It was brutal. By the time I got in there, she was just dead. I don't even think she had a chance to fight back.
There's a quiet.
That doesn't make us feel any better hearing it.
There's a quiet moment, just as they all kind of look among each other. Then their spokesman kind of raises his bottle. Huzzah! To Madame Ava, the oldest woman in Barovia.
Everyone, let's
I'm
pour one out for
awake,
Baba
I
Saga.
can hear you.
That's also factual.
As suddenly
That's
Sigismund is smoked.
Also, can I go talk to her?
Feel free, the flap's open.
He wants to talk to Madame Ava to see if this fucking Mardukov girl is real or not.
Okay, well, I wasn't until you brought that up. But the second thing, the thing I was gonna do was just go see if I could meet. Yeah, fuck, I forgot. Gonna meet this lady that apparently gave you guys these magic cards that have all turned true.
Can I get one that gives me a wife?
No,
That I cannot do. Oh.
I mean, you don't know. But no, that's not why I'm here.
But you haven't told that the flap is open, so...
Alright. I think Sesna said she was gonna go on there first, though, and she's been here for a bit.
Well, you had gotten here and I was like, I need to thank her.
Okay, well...
That's all I had.
I'm gonna go in. Sort of.
I'm gonna just, once he gets into the tent, because I travel with him, once he gets into the tent, then actually just, set clothes by the fire to dry, and then kind of sit to give myself some modesty.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. When I walked by, was she like sitting? Okay, have these furs. Have these.
Well, no, she wasn't.
Oh.
She hadn't yet.
Okay, okay.
She's not just gonna strip in the middle of camp.
I see. That's why I was confused, because like that sounded like that's what she said she was doing. And I was like,
No,
okay,
you got there just as she was gonna go like asking that question to sit down by the fire.
Okay, yeah, just Sigismund is gonna sort of step.
No. She was going to set them down by the fire. But then you would arrive and she went, well, you're the person I travel with, so,
Okay, so
I
modesty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sigismund is sort of just gonna step into the tent. So, Madame Ava, yeah?
That is my name. What can I do for you? You see her...
Well...
You see this little woman that you could swear is on her way to being blind. And to cast a gaze over you. Your kind is, usually here for something else.
Oh. So, Okay, I get... Fair enough. I'm traveling with a group of people that she gave a bunch of cards to.
The fortunes were read, yes.
Yeah, apparently every one of them has come true.
Indeed.
See, we're on the last one, and the last one entails going into Strahd's castle and finding a thing.
Yes.
Is there any chance, like, more specific?
I can say only what the cards show me. I have given them all I can tell them about that.
Okay. So I sit down. So, outsiders have been coming for a very long time.
Yes.
How many fortunes would you say you've read?
Hundreds, at least.
Alright, so last question. What do you think makes this particular group so special?
I don't think they're special. The fortunes
I mean-
told me was they could find what they seek, what they need. I think that they may succeed, or they may meet the fate of all the others. But the only way home is to succeed. So, until they turn up dead, like one of their comrades, I will continue to believe.
Long shot. Could I get like a spare set of clothes? Because I don't want to walk into Barovia dressed like this.
I do not think anything I have will fit you.
Well, I meant around the... Okay.
I don't
Fair
think
enough.
anyone in the camp is your size.
Fair enough.
I think you should probably ask the people in the camp rather than the blind old woman who is now the oldest person in Barovia. Thank you for that.
As Sigismund steps out, dressed like a little babushka.
But no. But,
As you return with Strahd. Sesna, Donnel. Old Russian woman.
yes.
And then the
Biggest
then the
old Russian woman I have ever seen.
Biggest clothes from I've ever seen. And then, in the final battle, Donnel goes down, the Russian woman picks up the sun sword, and Strahd doesn't see it coming because it's just a giant Russian woman. He probably
holding a
should
now
have.
inert sword.
There are all of two of us who can actually wield that now.
Mainly because Sesna can actually do sunlight.
But
Anyways,
I can pump back power into it. Wheesh.
jokes
You can cheat.
aside. Never got really serious about.
Well, I mean, because we do that.
Yeah, so we look at this old woman. Long shot. Could you read my fortune?
Do you suspect that it will be... Would knowing make you feel better?
I don't know.
Can she, considering I have 5 of her cards?
Listen. Maybe
It's actually
another
pushing 'cause
question.
Nico just remembered he has 5 of her cards.
another question that you might know the answer to, you might not. So, I'm thoroughly convinced that someone made up someone to get me to do something. You wouldn't happen to know if Mordekov had a daughter?
The Martikovs do not interact with us.
Yeah, like I said, Longshot.
And
Well-
they haven't for some very many years.
Like I said, Longshot. Guess that's about everything. I'm gonna go to Barovia now.
Enjoy your trip.
Gonna get up and head out.
Sesna, as you've been sitting by the fire, or sitting somewhere near the fire, sitting in such a way as to preserve what modesty you can, several of the Vistani, male and female alike, have sort of stepped past you, sort of offering bottles of wine, trying to strike up small conversations.
I
Hey,
try to be
gypsy
polite.
Drink.
Well, I don't
Party.
drink that much, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, thank you. Also, any polite conversation, just say, hey, but a bit awkward to be talking with anybody right now. For the obvious reasons.
By about the third attempt to strike you up in conversation, you think they might be doing it on purpose.
As I walk by and see this, I'm just gonna take out like a fur and put it on Sesna. There you go. And leave.
How many extra articles of clothing do you have?
I have one, but I have like so I imagine by my first set, and then I have got the fine set from the folk hero thing, but then I bought the other one, which is a traveling set, which is just my old barbarian clothes. So I imagine my barbarian clothes is a kilt, so a fur sort of shirt thing, and a pair of moccasins.
A kilt?
I'm only wearing the moccasins and the kilt.
Kilt.
A kilt, Jeffrey?
Keep saying kilt.
Kilt.
You're wearing a pretty Anglo-Saxon
He's wearing
person?
Boudica. With all that means.
He is literally wearing Boudica.
Thank you.
Alright.
Are we really going to let him take that several-hour detour? Considering we're on a time crunch?
Are we? It's early in the morning. How long did it take us to get here?
It took
It's
you
not early.
Wait,
in the
you're
morning.
heading to Barovia?
Okay. It took you 2.5 hours to get to the bridge.
After, to note, we had to redo the entire long rest, it seems, so...
Yeah, so we woke up late.
So it was probably like 8 when we, started, and then...
10 o'clock to get to
10.
the bridge.
Yeah, 10:30 to get to the bridge, and then it's taking you about an hour walk to get from the falls to the camp. It's about a mile.
Okay, so it's 11 in the afternoon.
11:30.
And let's go to the map, because this is very far away from Barovia.
Yeah. It's 11:30.
Because then we have to go back and climb a 1,000-foot cliff.
Chicken is only going to take an hour.
Oh,
No, because then you have to walk back to the 1,000-foot cliff, and then we have to climb said 1,000-foot cliff.
So at a standard walking pace, it's going to be about 8 hours for you to get to Barovia and back.
Yeah, it's... Do we really have time to putz around with what I'm saying?
no, we don't.
That's a 15-mile journey and a 1,000-foot climb. I mean, you could probably knock that out in, 5 hours, not accounting for the climb. Well, and actually, it's a little bit less due to the wagon. Ultimately, we could do it, actually.
It is potentially possible.
Well,
Maybe
we need.
look,
Okay.
though.
We need both anyway, so me going and getting the book right now doesn't really help anything. Like, the book shouldn't be
Well-
leaving Barovia.
I was gonna say the staff is
It's in Strahd's
in
castle.
there.
The thing is,
Yeah,
it's a 15-mile journey there, back, and then the 1,000-foot climb.
Okay,
Then
you guys
you
aren't
have-
listening to me.
Yeah, no, because that's actually completely doable within the time span we have. Because I mean, you power walk. Because I mean, I have to consistently do 8-mile walks up very hilly conditions in 2.5 hours. So,
Okay, that's your real life, Pat. We're in a game where travel time is weird.
yeah, that's why I'm arguing realistic travel time.
Listen, at any rate, it's
I'm just saying it's
You're
not
gonna-
really worth it.
you're gonna be cutting it close to your appointment time if you go that way.
Okay, my thing is my thought. I can just go back. I can go get. Presuming I don't die in Strahd's castle, I can go to the village of Barovia and get that book later. And me getting it now doesn't really help anything. Because again, then I just have the book. I can't guarantee I'll get the staff.
Either instance feels like putting the cart before the horse. But we could head back. In all honesty.
Because we also have no idea how long the book side quest is going to take.
True. But that'd just be a check-in, and if it isn't a immediate, like, hey, I think we can do nowish, then. So, see ya.
And then it's... Look, my big concern is wasted time. We've already made him wait once.
Oh, what's he gonna do? Come at us?
Potentially!
Yes.
And
He
I know
doesn't
you don't
fight-
want that,
he-
Pat!
He doesn't even fight us. He just throws 3 ropes on us and brings us to Ravenloft.
It's like,
Now-
you lazy
Shit.
shit!
He literally
He
literally rodeo rides past, just lassoing you off the back of Eucephalus.
We are having this dinner.
The image alone is amazing to me.
Listen.
It's only minorly more funny than the Strahd Tar.
Sigismund is going to look in the direction of Barovia and just, you know what? I'll get it later. It's fine. Strahd might settle this whole problem for me tonight. And he's just gonna
You
head
don't
back
trust
to
his
the
hospitality?
He's just gonna head back to the waterfall.
I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm just letting these clothes dry a bit more before just snagging them, knowing the folks, and leaving.
By the time you head out, they're still a bit damp, but they'll dry by the time you get to Castle Ravenloft.
Yeah.
Besides, you have another outfit when you get there. But Sigismund, you make your way back to the falls a short while before Sesna does. And while you've been away, Donnel, have you climbed back up the falls, or...?
Yes.
Alright. You gonna give me the athletics test to climb on up?
I think you mean with advantage, because I have climbing spikes!
Oh. Nice
I haven't
investment.
done some ears yet.
There you go, yeah, with advantage then.
Not really needed, but still.
Well, you use the climbing spikes just to be safe, and make your way quickly and effectively up the cliff.
As I'm doing this, I'm leaving Pythons in.
Yeah.
I only have 10 of them, so I can only make it like a halfway easier journey, but still.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Help is help.
Because Donnel's gonna do his hair as he gets up there, because I'm fucking wearing a fancy suit now. I'm one of them fancy burger fellas.
Esmeralda kind of gives you an odd look as you come over the top in Sigismund's clothes, just like...
It was the fountain of youth.
Well then. Apparently, Sigismund once had a decent accent.
Ha! That would nettle him.
I'm sure it would. Are the others coming, or...?
They went to go talk to Madame Ava at her camp. I have no idea when they're coming back, but they'll be fine. Madame Ava's good folks.
I suppose. She gave me an odd feeling.
So.
Have you ever looked at something that has been preserved long past its natural life?
Donnel thinks for a long moment before pulling out a piece of sodden jerky out of his bag. Like this?
Sort of, but with... well...
I hold out the sodden Strahd puppet like this.
It's...
I got plenty of props. I could do this all day.
When I look at her, I see an old woman. But I can feel something far more dangerous.
I mean, if I went and talked, I could have used that one of my class abilities to gauge her overall effectiveness and potential danger. But she seemed nice enough whenever I met her at level 3.
Did you hit your head on the way down?
Oh, quite consistently. Also lack of oxygen. I'm not quite sure how I'm functioning as effectively as I am at this moment.
I'm suffering a lack of oxygen, several head injuries, and nitrogen narcosis.
Let's see, there's several head injuries. There was that one hard slap I got from Strahd. There was the concussion that apparently, gave me the wherewithal to jump off the bridge. There's the untold psychological trauma of watching people die around me, of having to kill folk around me, and the list goes on, really.
Oh, all the little things that so often get ignored in an adventurer's life.
I'm 15.
Like
This is some PTSD shit.
Like how quickly you've been accustomed to murdering people.
Donald just, after that outburst, Donald's setting his pot down and using it as a mirror to, smooth out his hair.
Esmeralda just sort of slowly puts a hand on your shoulder. This place is, not conducive to a healthy mindset at the best of times.
Not at all.
I'm sorry that this was your introduction to an adventuring life. As a professional hunter of monsters, I'm sure there are other moments in your careers that will be more pleasant. But this is not a place for them.
Just kind of nods. His face never leaving that cooked-in smile as he goes to smoothing his hair out. I have seen some things. I would not recommend half the shit I've done. I just want to make myself look dapper. We're going to a fancy dinner, And it feels somewhat normal.
I've seen some things and some stuff. I wouldn't recommend
Not recommended. But you know what? We got dinner plans, and that for once in our adventure feels like something something feels like, you know, normal.
Alright. It's a while later when Sigismund, you've reached the cliff and give me an athletics test to get up with advantage because there are at least partially heightened along the way. Well, thank goodness for advantage.
I mean, he wouldn't have needed it, but still.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it wasn't this. Thank goodness I didn't put butter on all of the fucking titans.
Yeah. But yeah.
I cast grease on all. Wait, hold on. One game.
By the way, guys, I can't wait for that spell. Pathfinder.
No, Grease did CS from 5e as well.
It's better in Pathfinder.
It is. But
Because unlike in 5e, in Pathfinder, you can cast grease on an item, or specifically on someone's feet.
yeah, it's not just an area, but
I cast butter spray.
Butter spray, similar to pocket sand, but
components.
It makes you break out in acne.
Components are verbal, somatic.
stick of butter.
Yeah, not even a stick of butter, just a can of Pam.
Bunch of Vaseline.
No, that's how you cast empower the butter spray.
Anyway, Sigismund, with the first 50 feet very much assisted, you're able to get a good start and make your way on up. Where by the time you arrive, Donnel's sort of gotten himself looking about right for the upcoming meeting.
Waiting for it from Esmeralda, as I'm just in a kilt and moccasins.
So, going back to your roots for the dinner?
Well, if the smart boy hadn't jumped into a lake in all his clothes, I wouldn't have to.
All I'm saying is that you may have grown just slightly since you last was us.
I don't have anything else. Would you rather I go buck naked?
Point taken. And it is a short time after that when Sesna reaches the bottom of the cliff.
Alright, well, climb. Everyone's advantage.
Yep.
I did it.
Sesna, the rope really wasn't necessary, but it was nice of somebody to leave it for you. Now that you get that head start and it saves you the effort on that first 50 feet.
Only 950 more to go.
Listen, anything that makes a 1,000-foot climb easier.
Yeah. Just gonna get to the top.
Sesna, you do in fact pull yourself over the top.
Just over tunnel. You look nice.
What happened?
You look nice.
Appreciated. As Donnel proceeds to ruin the appearance and stick the pot back on his head.
Yeah.
Truly a cultist of Sheogorath.
And now I have a different concept.
Fuck the plow, let's just all be danger worshippers.
Cheese for everyone. I mean,
That story of Sheogorath punishing that one king, because that king didn't like art, so he banished from the kingdom, and just in a dream turning a field of flowers into infinite amounts of his head staring at him. Since you refuse one of my aspects, I will drown you in the other. And proceeds to drive him absolutely fucking insane.
A field of Sheogorath's heads, infinitely spewing buns.
Oh God! Yeah, fair. That would drive most people insane.
A scythe! A scythe! My kingdom for a scythe!
No, you slice them down with the scythe, and then just 2 more grow out of it.
Field of Hydra
And then
flowers.
it comes, and then those just become basically Statler and Waldorf.
Anyway. But as you, yeah. He just took his pot on his head, and Esmeralda looks to you, Sesna. So then, should we get you prettied up? I assume, since you've all come back without anything, it wasn't there.
No.
I'm still trying to figure out what that cave in my vision meant.
I didn't mean anything about the staff. The staff got taken, and the book is in Barovia.
Wow. You lead that brings to Barovia.
Now you're coming in to be quiet, Pat.
Yeah, well, we have a lead that takes us to Barovia. But there's more to say that it isn't in there than it is.
So then, are we to make for our appointment at the castle, or...?
I believe so. Unless the
Yeah,
others had any objections.
Really nothing else, and I mean, I don't feel like taking another dip, so...
Wish I knew what that cave meant, but yeah, I really no time to think about it now.
You can always go back there afterwards. It's not like this is where the adventure ends.
Don, you should probably take that pot off your head if you're trying to look nice.
Cue dramatically appropriate lightning.
I was gonna... I'll see to that later. Don't worry. But yeah, come on, Esmeralda. Let's get me all gussied up.
And gussied up you are gotten.
And gotten you get.
Oh, you gonna get me? Okay, well, shit, guys. I think that was happening. But no. So, normal thing, just Sigismund and her up. Oh, by the way, I hand Sigismund back his fur thing, so, yeah, I assume that we, have the typical thing of Esmeralda driving, Sigismund up front, then the other 2 of us in back.
As I sit down, because I've just been sitting shotgun. When Esmeralda gets up here, what is Esmeralda in?
Her usual attire.
You're not gonna... Okay.
Esmeralda looks from herself in her usual attire, which is decently fancy in and of itself.
And then
Fair
looks
enough.
to Sigismund.
Sigismund in his kilt and furs.
What do I know of your cultured ways?
Not much.
I am gonna go ahead and just show so that everybody can see Esmeralda in decent size.
Somewhat fancy, but...
That is very fancy. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Someone, look at the filigree on that coat.
Look, I just thought she had the spare dress. She might wear it, but okay. It's fine.
Spare dress is being given this.
No,
has
she has 2 dresses, but she lent one to Sesna. She's also not willing to put herself in a dress when she might pinch out to fight a vampire.
I mean,
Yeah, that's.
you're in a better
I'm cool with-
position than me, who's not wearing his medium armor when potentially having to fight a vampire.
Be fine, probably. It won't be fine, but it'll be fine.
It's okay, I'll just box Strahd mono-y-mono.
Put him up. Put him up. Oh god.
Oh god, he put him up!
See, the thing is, if he punches me, he's significantly weaker. As if he scratches me, I'm fucked. Well, less so, because his damage is necrotic, and I'm actually resistant to that. Should've remembered that whenever he was slapping my shit in, at the beginning of this game.
I don't think it mattered. He critted
It
you.
wouldn't matter! No, that was whenever he really smacked my shit in. I'm talking about, like, just every time we fought him before that.
So the one time.
Yeah. Where he also smacked my shit in.
Yeah. It just broke your fucking arm, Jesus. But anyways. Yeah, on the way back, I guess, just in the back of the cart, looking over to Donnel. So your Sigismund probably isn't wrong. You should probably take the pot off. For the sake of the little dinner we're having.
Donnel is just kind of sitting there, with the sun sword in his hand. Just a very vacant expression on his face.
Donnel? Donnel? Donnel?
Yeah, Sesna. Sorry, just
I lost your own little work right now. Look, I was saying that with the party we're going, with the dinner we're heading to, you should probably take the pot off your head. Try and, keep your hair looking somewhat nice versus the normal, lovable tuft that it is.
so.
Repeat that?
I suppose so. Very quiet. It was meant to be quiet. Not so quiet you couldn't hear me.
Fair.
Kind of reaches up and takes the pot off. The pot hair already sunk in.
Kind of start futzing with his hair, trying to make it look a bit nicer. Hey,
Yeah?
you. This place is not great. And I was hoping that would elicit further conversation, but it didn't.
Donnel just wordlessly puts a hand on her
Also-
cheek for a moment. You are the best part of this place. Probably the only reason I'm still sane at this very moment. Thank you, Sesna. Bringing that little bit of stability that this place seems to lack.
Stop blustering me. I understand it's probably payback for the first time you saw me in the dress, but stop that.
It's the genuine, not vacant smile this time. Of course, I'm sorry.
She's okay. I was trying to see if you were okay. Try to be there for you emotionally, and then you just go and do that.
It's the truth, though, and I'm just trying to be more honest about what I'm feeling in general, and trying to feel like I'm me still in this place.
Well, fair worry. This place does kind of, as I say, suck. But I mean, you got me. And also
you're coming in
sort
quiet.
of got a Sigismund. Sorry. Well, you got me, and we've sort of got a Sigismund who we lumped into this whole excursion.
I'm not sure I like Sigismund very much. He seems too comfortable with killing. Ain't exactly something that I think is a good trait to have.
That's fair. Yeah, probably the byproduct of this place. A lot of people here seem a bit, disturbed. To say the least.
I mean, attempting to drown children is pretty disturbed, yeah.
And not even knowing why they were doing it. That's an extra level of not great, but aside, well, you know that, burden of being the one who sits there smiling and being the, well, support beam that we can all lean on becomes a bit much. Always leaning back on me.
The hand is still not left the cheek. I know. It's good to know that I have you.
It's good to have you too. Now,
I think we're both a bit too
we
awkward
just,
for all this.
well, yeah. Look, it's the connotation
And then he
of what we're
kisses
gonna
her.
go do, and maybe. Yeah. I want you to remember how the ad ended the last time you did.
Exactly. But you know what? It broke the. It stopped the awkward prattling.
No, like that is what she says to him. I hope you remember how that ended last time.
I still seem to be unslapped.
Oh, you.
Keep in mind,
Internally
Sesna,
just-
too aggressive emotion.
What?
Just keep in mind, if you make too aggressive emotion,
Yeah. Yeah.
As Donnel's antics caused the wagon to explode.
oh no, that's not even what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That dress
Oh, I
isn't
know.
quite the right size.
I remember. I'm just trying to derail, as always.
Get to the castle. Nothing's going on back there. Sigismund opens the door. Donnel's passed out like an anime boy with a nosebleed. Sesna's yelling, "Shut the door!"
Pretty much. But no, just you are asking for it. I both appreciate that and am infuriated by it. Mostly because being in our position, I can't do anything to later. You are gonna pay for that.
Sorry that I thought you'd appreciate it.
See, I do, but I can't do anything about it. She's just gonna kiss him back.
There's my payback for all the fucking teasing you've been doing to me recently, Pat. Fuck you.
Ah!
Anyways,
It's
Man, you know what's great? There's not a priest back here to cockblock.
Yeah.
not making out in a too small cocktail dress in front of a fucking pastor.
Carowin just sitting over there, quietly. I kind of wish we did just autopilot Carowin as a heal bot.
Kevin, why are you leaving us now that we've defeated Strahd? I can't deal with the
I
both
have
of you.
seen things, and I would rather not.
It's like a couple on prom night having to share a taxi with a rabbi.
It hurts how fucking accurate of a summation that is.
He's too polite to say anything, but
It hurts how accurate of a summation that is for this.
Hold on. Hold on.
Anyways,
No, Pat's gonna need a second. Pat's
We're
dying.
gonna need- yeah.
Pat, mute yourself.
Yeah, let's. The kids are all. The kids are busy right now.
For the sake of context, I'm basically laying down in my chair. Oh. God, fucking I'll be back.
So, Sigismund sort of sitting at the front of the wagon sort of looks at Esmeralda. So, Strahd had, like, 5 brides stashed in Valaki. What are the odds that he has more?
brides spawn. It depends upon his habits. Every vampire is a little different. Some make whole armies of spawn. Others, well, being one of their spawn is special, as they don't bestow as a gift on just anyone.
Alright.
But, as old as Von Zarovich is, I wouldn't doubt there are a few more in there.
Guess we'll see when we get to dinner.
I suppose we will. Though I must say, as awkward as it is, your native apparel is not unfitting for you.
Sigismund, she's saying that she likes that your cock and balls hang out just a bit from your loincloth.
This is not unfitting for you.
It's just a bit. It's not enough to get us, to get us that R rating.
Sort of just.
It's like Will Smith in Wild Wild West. Blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Alright.
For those
So
of you who don't know what
I-
I'm talking about, go rewatch that movie. Pay very close attention.
So,
Hold on, R rating.
No.
What happened? Where? What?
Nothing.
We're talking about something about how Sigismund's native apparel is a bit too short in the kilt.
because Esmeralda brought up that it was pleasing.
It was fitting,
No, it was
not pleasing,
fitting.
fitting.
Yeah.
Even though it's ill-fitting.
Well, it was a fitting look, but
You pull off the wild man look.
yeah.
I imagine I pulled it off better when I still had my long hair.
There might have been an
Conan
air of
cosplayer.
there might have been an air of noble savagery about you then. Well, a stronger air, I suppose.
Thank you.
You are, every day, a reminder that there is a trade to be made for civility.
Come again?
Even tempered by your years among the people, there are certain habits and mannerisms that you have not shaken.
I still carry a big axe.
That is not entirely what I mean, but
My father always said, "Stomp loudly, carry the bigger axe."
Unfortunately, Strahd has like 7 of the goddamn things.
Strahd just has a collection of improperly sized axes, and I'm pretty sure he's compensating for his axe deficiency.
No, that was not quite what I meant.
Lumberjack dysfunction.
But at her, that's not quite what I meant. Well, considering I could be dead at dinner, you mind telling me what you did mean?
there's a sort of primal freedom that seems to linger in the air about you. A wildness that even all the adopted mannerisms of civilization does not wholly hide.
I know what you mean. I think that's one of the reasons the Baron didn't really try to get me to partake in many of his mandatory events for the citizenry.
Well, that, and I imagine you were not always present.
I was there for a fair amount of time, but no, I did move around a lot.
An impressive accomplishment in its own right. But be that as it may, what is that? And as you're coming up to the crossroads that split between Valaki and Castle Ravenloft, you notice that...
I was gonna ask if I could make perception, because for the what is that?
Well, specifically, it becomes quite clear as the shape forms within the mist. Parked at the fork in the road, pointed east, is a large black carriage drawn by a pair of black horses. They snort puffs of steamy breath into the chill mountain air, and as Esmeralda pulls her own cart to a slow stop, the side door of that black carriage opens, silently swinging out.
Think we should stay away from that one?
It is disconcerting, but perhaps it is meant as his invitation?
I suppose having your carriage there doesn't really provide a benefit of escape when he can just fly?
She thinks for a moment. It might also be somewhat rude to drive up in a rolling bomb.
Alternatively, it might be the best idea we've had to drive up in a rolling bomb.
This is also fair.
But if we're trying to be polite and just scope out the place and we don't have plans to fight him yet, it might be a good idea to get in his carriage. Unless that carriage is a death trap, in which...
Well, perhaps we should speak to the others about this. As for those inside the wagon, it has been about... It's been about maybe an hour driving this far.
Sigismund's gonna step down and go open the door. Hey, opinions.
What?
Yeah.
Come outside, you'll see it.
Look, gonna hop outside real quick and take a quick look.
Sort of look.
Like that a monk once talked or tried to talk to.
Donnel is just gonna. I'll be there in a second.
Oh, it's a carriage.
Yes, seems like Strahd left it here for us.
I mean, we want to go check it because it might or might not be a trap or something completely different. And this place being as exceedingly lethal as it is.
Shane, I'd like to roll a history to see if I know anything about this black carriage.
Go ahead and
As
give
he's
me
rolling this history, Donnel finally Donnel finally steps out, adjusting the clothes, making sure that he looks presentable, trying not to look like he's standing awkwardly.
Sigismund, you've occasionally heard tell of a black carriage that appears for outsiders. You've never heard of anybody who goes into it coming back. But that might have something to do with where they were going.
You're not filling me with confidence about going to this dinner.
It is,
But yeah.
But the black carriage is rumored to be Strahd's.
Yeah, so, as they both step out, yeah, it's Strahd's carriage. It's meant for outsiders. It's also a well-known fact that any outsider that goes in it doesn't really come back. But it looks like it's heading in the direction of the castle. So,
You've given me every reason to not get in that.
listen, I wouldn't be a very good guide if I didn't tell you everything I know.
No, fair, but just you've told me, it has made me decide that no, I'm not going in that.
I
mean,
guess
not to mention we'd have to walk all the way back to collect our own cart wagon.
fair enough, I guess. Looks like we're going in ours.
Thanks, spooky ghost horses, but we don't need your help.
As
I'm
you
gonna close the door
Okay.
because I remember it was left open. I'm just gonna
As you
close this.
as you walk forward to close the door, you get a glance inside the carriage, and it's richly upholstered with red cloth upon the seats.
I kind of
Okay.
want to get in now.
So I thought you were gonna say I closed the door and Strahd just opens like excuse you.
Your
Oh.
host was picking you up for dinner.
Oh well, you were being very quiet. I didn't know you were in there. I apologize.
But
I was told to speak up, but you've done me a disservice and were very rude to me, so I feel like I have to speak up.
it is richly upholstered inside, and on the seats, opposite the way the door opens, you see a small package bound in twine with a note tied to the twine.
Can I get the package without getting in the wagon?
You would have to sort of lean in, but you don't have to step all the way into it.
I will do that. Look at this package.
The note, now that you can get a look at it, is simply the name Donnel.
Oh, those clothes I asked for.
I'm gonna throw these at Donnel. Here you go. This is for you.
Thank you. Guess I should go change into these and give you yours back.
As Esmeralda mutters something about her carriage now being the changing room at the beach.
Donald's gonna go and change. Very quickly go and change.
Donnel,
Ignore the retroactive wisdom test.
Donnel, The outfit that Rahadin has acquired for you is a very nice set of black silk clothing with a pair of very well made leather shoes. And included with them is a small bottle of cologne.
What is this? Ah, why does it smell so? Ugh!
Don't put it in your mouth. Yeah, it's fine.
I thought it was a potion. It was not a potion.
It's not poison! Donnel's going to get dressed. Do they fit? Because if so, I have some words for Strahd about how he has my measurements.
You can tell it was. You can tell Rahadin must have eyeballed it, so it's not perfect, but it's close enough to be comfortable.
Okay, so if we get into a combat, I'm gonna have to Hulk out and tear the stitching in the shoulders and such.
Yeah. It's like the equivalent of getting a sort of an off the shelf suit. Where
Oh
it's
god,
it's a little stiff where the pits join together, but. But you emerge.
Here you go, Mr. Sigismund.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for those two to get back in and just change at the back of the cart. Go ahead. Close the door, put my pants on, shirt on, boots on.
What does this cologne smell like? Donnel has never seen perfume at all, being a farm boy.
It's got a heavy scent of sandalwood to it.
What is this? Just gonna put it in my bag, my soaking wet bag. Yeah, they certainly have a sense of timing.
But is everybody loading back up?
Yep.
Alright.
Having his clothes back on. Just sit down. You know, somehow this feels better.
You know, I missed these.
You're certainly more familiar with them, I assume. And as you're getting settled back in on the front seat, the door in the carriage has... If you hadn't closed it fully after getting the package, it has closed itself, and the carriage begins to just sort of head back towards Castle Ravenloft. You notice there's nobody driving it at all. It's just sort of... The horses just sort of go.
Yeah. Yeah, we made the right call.
Out of character, that cart does literally... That wagon, that thing does literally nothing bad. The carriage is just a means of transportation.
Yeah.
I don't trust them. You say.
I mean, to be fair, you were right not to trust it. It's Strahd's, but still, it literally does nothing bad.
At the end of the campaign, we've done it. Ruined it with Castle Ravenloft. Don't trust it. I'm setting it on fire.
As you emerge at the end of the module, you emerge from Castle Ravenloft victorious. The carriage pulls around the castle and opens its door to take you home. Never mind. No thanks. We'll walk. No. We'll walk. We'll just go away.
Please
the carriage
stop following
the carriage
me.
riding alongside.
And that's
Man,
when you
Sesna-
find out that Strahd had transitioned from vampire to lich.
Man, Esmeralda,
And the
sure
carriage
was
was
lucky that I threw...
phylactery.
Sure was lucky that I threw Strahd into your carriage that was a bomb, and then I threw Donnel into Strahd with the sun sword.
Die for... Donnel, I have a plan. Okay? Die for me. Die for me.
Does not seem like a very fun plan, Mr. Sigismund!
Don't worry, it's
Hey,
perfect.
got that.
He just exploded. He won't see you coming. But anyways, we head for the castle. and dinner.
Indeed.
Donnel is significantly less angsty in the back now.
It's about an hour and a half later when you arrive. If anyone has anything they want to say or do on the way.
Hey,
No, Sigismund is going to just prepare himself mentally. For I have never gone into a hive of such scum and villainy.
Donnel is redoing his hair now because he had to muss it up to get the fucking new shirt on.
Mm-hmm. And Pat, you had said a thing, but you came in quiet.
oh no. That was intentional.
Alright. But after winding through the forest and craggy mountain peaks, the road takes a sudden turn to the east, and the startling, awesome presence of Castle Ravenloft towers before your eyes, Sigismund. Esmeralda has to pull the cart to a stop before twin turrets of stone, broken from years of exposure. Beyond those two guard towers is the precipice of a 50-foot wide, fog-filled chasm that disappears into unknown depths. Slowly, a drawbridge of old, shored-up wooden beams stretches across the chasm, between you and the archway to the courtyard. The chains of the drawbridge creak in the wind under the strain of their weight. They are iron rust-eaten. From atop the high walls, stone gargoyles stare at you out of their hollow eyes and grin hideously. A rotting wooden portcullis, green with growth, hangs above the entry tunnel, and beyond it, the main doors of Ravenloft stand open, a rich, warm light spilling from within, flooding the courtyard. Torches flutter sadly in sconces on both sides of the open doors as the cart slowly pulls through. The drawbridge, though it remains sturdy, creaks and groans under the weight of the cart.
By the way, because none of us did it last time, do I see anything around the wagon? The Carowinds?
There doesn't seem to be any of his equipment here.
I was talking about a note that, you said he left that we ignored.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I mean, would he actually find it with the wagon that sort of fall into the gully?
Not to mention Donald was a little distracted earlier and is now very much distracted again, just trying to stay focused on the dinner now.
As you're trying to not sort of get lost in several different features of Sesna, you're sort of casting your gaze around inside the cart, and as you start to hear the creaking of the drawbridge, you do spot a note where it had fallen to the floorboards of the wagon and sort of fallen under the bed, where it started to poke back out.
Just gonna take this and read it with my meta knowledge of knowing it was here in the first place.
Casting your glance upon it, and reading over it, the note the language at least, comes across as Carowinds. My friends, my companions, whilst you were negotiating with the Vistani, I asked Sarenrae for guidance. She bid me to a path in the woods, up into the mountains. A temple is there somewhere. It has answers. If I can understand our enemy, it might make his defeat easier.
You motherfucker. Mika knows what to do now. I was just gonna pocket this for now, just keep this bit of information in the back of his head for now.
Alright.
Still don't know if this is going to end poorly in this place or not.
Yes. Alright. One second. I'm gonna have to drop you across a couple different maps to get you there, so just... Just another second.
This is a big old castle.
It is.
Well, I don't see a door here.
1 second.
What'd you say, Pat?
I have to keep up being conscious dark. I have the exact amount of game points and health every time.
It's still
Wait.
set. It must still be set wrong on the main page. I'll fix it again sometime, but.
As Donnel does walk, Donnel is taking his 2 shields with him. Not 2 shields, his shield with him and his sword, the sword obviously. Going to dinner doesn't mean, you know, not expecting some shit.
Yeah. And the... It is, okay, cool. But yes. As you all disembark from your wagon once it's pulled into the courtyard, thick, cold fog swirls within the courtyard. There are sporadic flashes of lightning lancing in leaping clouds overhead, and thunder occasionally shakes the ground. Through the drizzle, you see the torch flames sputtering on each side of the keep's open main doors. Warm light spilling from the entrance, flooding the courtyard. High above the entrance is a round window with shards of broken glass lodged in its iron frame.
Step off the wagon.
Donnel is going to step out of the wagon and offer his hand to Sesna.
I'm gonna say she jumps out, then realizes, no, wait,
Also in heels.
and
Also,
like,
he
comes in.
fucking snaps the heels.
Hey, stuff, tuck and roll.
Yes, tuck and roll in that 2 small cocktail dress. Kill Donnel, go ahead. Strahd, thank you.
Come on.
I wasn't expecting you to be able to do that in them, their shoes. I couldn't imagine having to walk in those.
Yeah, just.
Oh.
Oh god, the cart!
Oh, Strahd took our cart!
Scatter!
It was a trap!
Layering issues! Shane is the best.
Right. Let's head in.
Donnel still is offering his hand to Sesna. By Sesna.
No, I'm saying that she does take that.
Go to this. Let's go to their dinner and try not to be murdered by Strahd. Where's the door? Because I don't see it.
Do you not?
Oh, he's like. Oh, he. See, to me that just looked like ramparts.
Yeah, sorry. Well, it's meant to be an under area. That's kind of, there's ramparts above, and it's kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's an entryway underneath.
Because it looks like it looks like. I guess it's because of mapping issues, but it looks like Sigismund was walking on the ceiling on the roof.
Sigismund was like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this. I'm gonna surprise him."
Dun 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 dun.
Mr. Sigismund, how'd you get up there? I don't know.
I don't know, Donnel, but I got up here, and I don't think I want to come down.
Wait, that's lightning. I'm coming down.
Just gonna group you guys together real quick.
That's lightning. I'm coming down. That's spooky, man.
But yeah, no, while walking next to Donnel and just trying to around his. As she thinks she's remembered hearing that's a thing what ladies do. And then looks to Esmeralda for approval.
Esmeralda just gives you a slight nod as she walks with Sigismund forward.
Esmeralda is the coach in the background.
Yes. Is this what I do? Yes. Okay, good. I'm also very new to this being lady. Like you couldn't have already tell.
Yeah. Alright. But as you make your way inside,
Are the doors open?
they are in fact open, yes.
Oh, alright then.
You make your way
Ah!
inside.
Darkness!
We're at an elevator.
You're in an entryway. Sigismund, can you not see? Why do you not have sight? Come here.
See only darkness.
You have sight. The shit?
Shifting him.
I can see me.
Oh,
just
I know
uh,
what's going on. Shane is special. 1 second.
No, Donald looks around and realizes it's dark. Donald casts light on his belt buckle.
Hey, Strahd, hit me right here if you can.
Strahd, please don't hit me right there. I'm a young man, but I feel I might be able to be using that eventually.
Refresh real quick. These things should slow down. Gonna have to restart the music.
Why didn't you get Hanson and Fugue?
Cause bite me. Come on, Roll20, load the damn map. I know there's a lot there, but just work with me. She needs to restart the music. But yes, as you guys make your way into the entry, the ornate outer doors of the castle, having hung open and flanked by flittering torches, lead inside 20 feet to a second set of doors.
I'm gonna open these doors.
As you reach out towards them, they suddenly swing open, revealing a grand hall and the sound of organ music.
Hold on. Back up. I heard orgy music.
Organ music.
Okay. Thank
From
you.
like a pipe
Oh,
organ.
it's that kind of party, Strahd. I didn't know we were in a Miko game.
Ah. You.
And as you're making your way through the foyer, overhead you see in the light cast by Donnel's belt buckle, which you should all be able to see now. Please tell me you
Yeah.
can. Okay. You do notice that there are 4 statues of dragons up in the height of the foyer. But as you step past, you step into the great entry, where cobwebs stretch between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of the great dusty hall, dimly lit by sputtering torches and iron sconces. The torches cast odd shadows across the faces of some eight stone gargoyles, squatting on the rims of the domed ceiling. Cracked and fading ceiling frescoes are covered in decay. Double doors of bronze stand closed to the east. To the north, a set of wide staircases climbs into darkness. A lit hallway to the south contains another set of bronze doors, through which you can hear those sad and majestic tones of the organ. And now, in front of you, your eyes fall upon that familiar elf with brown skin and long black hair as he steps forward, quiet as a cat. He wears a grey cloak over black studded leather armor and has a polished scimitar hanging from his belt. Welcome. The master is expecting you. And as he casts a gaze across the lot of you, his eyes linger on Sigismund. That will not stand. And he withdraws a wand from beneath his cloak, points it at Sigismund, and Sigismund, the bloodstains and travel dirt are gone from your attire. And a moment later, he tucks that wand away and pulls another, points and flicks it at you again, and all the small little cuts and loose threads of your outfit close again. Now then.
This motherfucker has a wand for both prestidigitation and bending.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
As he puts the second wand away.
He's a good house elf.
Note to self.
The master has given Dobby clothes. Dobby is free.
This guy. Oh my god.
If the final fight begins, kill him and take the magic sticks.
But as he steps back, he repeats, as I said, the master is awaiting you. Please, this way.
Yep. Walking in time with them.
So, how you been since we last
I'm
met?
going and grabbing something real quick, a link for Pat. Sending Pat shitty memes as we play.
Alright.
Monster like that.
This is Donnel's first time in a castle, and I gotta say, for that fancy wand of clean up clothes, you sure don't seem to sweep the damn floors a lot. It's out of character.
Recent events have kept me busy. Fuck you.
I can't imagine what those recent events might be.
Anyway.
Oh god.
Jeez.
So I like doing that. You guys know this.
No, I just... Sheen moved me while I was trying to move myself.
Ah, sorry.
Right. So we're following this dude. This fellow.
You're following the elf you know to be Rahadin.
So, Radin, how has undeath treated you since we last met?
You mistake my nature.
Oh.
You're just ugly.
I thought you were a vampire.
Some of us do not need such methods to remain loyal to our masters. But as he leads you down this other hall, the torchlight flutters against the walls, but it's enough to reveal that the hall is vaulted. And to the east, an arched hallway stretches maybe 20 feet before it reaches a spiral staircase.
By the way, I'm upset he didn't give me a hat, just out of character knowledge for you all.
Hats are not to be worn indoors. Take your hat off inside.
Look, man, all I'm saying is, you know my aesthetic.
I was gonna say my work disagrees, but hey. That's the place professional business.
Can I wear my ceramite pot? My power armor pot?
But yes, the arch hallway.
Pressure cooker.
The arch hallway to the east stretches 20 feet, ending in a spiral staircase that goes both up and down. Next to the hallway, a suit of armor, oiled and glistening, stands at attention in a shallow alcove, while to the west a pair of large double doors hang ever so slightly open, and a steady bright light escapes through the opening. Swells of organ music come from behind the doors, spilling their melody of power and defeat into the hall. Rahadin steps to the doors. Everyone is ready for their meal, I take it?
Ready as I'll be.
Would make a joke about how I left my good boots at home, but...
But he just fixed and cleaned your good boots, goddammit.
Yeah.
I don't suppose I could borrow that one to dry my other clothes.
No. If you wanted your other clothes dry, you shouldn't have taken a bath with them on, you silly child.
Anyway.
I take the helmet off of the suit of armor and fling it at Mr. Sigismund.
I move and it hits the elf instead.
Oh no, what a terrible accident.
Ah, fuck.
Things I do for my master.
But Rahadin pushes open the doors, stepping inside and to one side.
Whoa, you actually found a table on Roll20 that doesn't look like shit?
Oh, that came with the map pack.
Fair enough.
But, as you enter, 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminate a magnificent chamber. Pillars of stone stand against the dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling. In the center of the room, a long, heavy table is covered with a fine white satin cloth. The table is laden with many delectable foods, roasted beasts basted in savory sauces, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you, with delicate china and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid with a delicate, tantalizing fragrance. And at the center of the far west wall, between floor-to-ceiling mirrors, stands a massive organ. Its pipes blare out a thunderous melody that speaks in its tone of greatness and despair. Seated at the organ, facing away from you, a single-caged figure pounds the keys in a raptured ecstasy. And the figure suddenly stops, and a deep silence falls over the dining hall, for your host, Strahd Von Zarovich, turns to face you. Welcome. Please come, take a seat. Rahadin, you are dismissed.
Then you don't get to eat tonight. Fuck off. As soon as Donnel sees Strahd, he just kind of takes Sesna's hand in their little arm link, and just squeezes.
She's supposed to be polite, but she's yeah.
As Rahadin quietly slips past you, closing the doors behind him.
So what was the song you were playing? The song you were playing.
Before this one?
No. To Strahd. What was the song you were playing?
Oh, I don't think it has a name. Just one I've always sort of favored. A tune that fits my fingers well.
Okay, you said there are spots set out for each of us. Now, I have to ask, is it like what's on here where there's just one on each chair? Or there's specifically 4 spots that have been set out?
There is one at each chair. But only the 4 towards the end of the table have their goblets filled.
Okay, so
Donnel's gonna do the what proper thing and pull a chair out. Donald's very stiffly trying to remember how gentlemen are what's supposed to act.
I'm gonna
Give him a approving nod. Good job.
get the seat. He's just gonna sit down.
Great, we're having a very tense dinner with fucking with our mortal enemy, while the parents of the party are watching us and giving nods of approval.
Look. I'm just gonna take comfort in the fact that, hold on, is there wine in this goblet?
There is an amber liquid with a tantalizing fragrance.
Donald's already taking a sip to still his nerves.
This fool, he's given me wine. With the ripple, he's doomed. But, aside,
The wine is delicious, oddly enough.
This fool. Now I bring out my secret. I've been away of the drunken fist this entire time.
guzzles all 4 of the cups of wine. Still,
Let's do this, motherfucker!
That reminds me again, why Pathfinder's great. Drunken Fist monks are actually really good in Pathfinder.
They're not bad in 5e.
Well, you actually get a benefit from drinking in
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
I mean, the actual martial arts for Way of the Drunken Fist are not ready to drink, but at any rate,
Have you seen Drunken Master? Another point for later.
but
Hmm.
as you take your seats and begin to sip at your wine, Strahd still stands before the Orion, casting his gaze along a lot of you.
Nice spread.
Of course. Only the best for your last meal.
And there it is.
Did you expect that this would be a incredibly pleasant evening?
I mean, I sort of hoped we wouldn't fall straight to murder.
Oh,
I
not
assumed we would
straight.
have the pretense of eating, maybe us have a nice little song and dance of asking how each other's been, and then eventually devolving into the melee.
Well, you see, I was
Oh, I have
hoping.
no intention of attacking you at the table. That would be rude. Almost as rude as, perhaps, say, undoing 500 years of work.
Oh, I thought you were going to say tackling a bridge.
Or kicking you out of a window.
Or pestering you with bolts of radiant sunlight while...
I was
Or
gonna
showing
say
you how
mur-
inept you are as a spellcaster by eating your fireballs.
I was gonna say murdering your mother. I was gonna go with murdering your mother.
Unless you are not what you appear to be, my mother died several hundred years ago.
Okay, you're right. I'll correct myself. The woman claiming to have raised you that was murdered in her bathtub. With brutal efficiency.
I have no idea as to who you speak of, but
Like, even
surely
says,
when I discover it, I will be even more livid with you. Until that time, I do not care for this person.
Alright then.
Until that time, I have no idea who you are.
I was actually so expecting...
You took everything from me. I don't even know who you are.
Pat was trying to speak.
Okay. Thanks again, guys. It's the best when you keep doing that.
I had to make the joke, sorry.
To be fair, you were coming in extremely quietly that time.
Anyways, but just to be fair, in all honesty, what I expected tonight to be was some weird thing of you inviting us over to dinner, having a nice, pleasant little chat about maybe potentially stop causing you problems, and you maybe making some kind of strange offer for us to even work for you, and then us to say no, then for you just to let us politely go on our way, and then for you to come at us later.
I will say, the letter made it seem as if you had a way for us to leave.
I will
Just
say
saying
we should
we're gonna fight
we
to
should
the
let Pat
death.
finish his point.
Oh, I thought it was done.
It's fine.
Well, I certainly do not intend to assault you at the dinner table. As I said, rude.
But out in the hallway, it's fair game.
Eat, drink, be merry while you can. And honestly, Sesna, was it?
Yes.
When I had heard you had made it to Krezik, I had every intention of inviting you. You had proven your skills, your fortitude, your determination. I had intended to make you the same offer I have made others. But then, perhaps we shall settle on determined. Friends there undid over 400 years of effort and work and patience on my part.
Now these things happen.
Now, the one thing that I had desired, that I had worked towards, is beyond me forever.
Well, that just seems defeatist.
And she's a lot better off for being out of your reach.
That is a
Brother
matter
is
of
too.
opinion.
That is a matter of opinion.
It's a matter of opinion for someone I haven't seen how she looked that day, that moment. Your brother had something you wanted. She chose your brother, Strahd. You can't lay claim to a person. Don't work like that.
She chose Sergei. Sergei was perfect. Sergei could do no wrong. Of course she chose Sergei. She was also young and stupid and didn't know what she really wanted.
I don't believe that that's correct.
Your
I don't
brother
believe
loved
anyone
you,
does
and that was his
exact-
biggest mistake.
Would a brother love a man?
Sorry, Pat. I cut you off because I was doing the dramatic pause, and then I heard you talking. My brain did a dumb. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But say what you're gonna say, Pat.
No, continue.
Now I feel bad.
Continue.
But Strahd does speak up. My past is not terribly relevant here. Decisions were made. Certain unalienable connections were shattered forever. On both of our sides. Be that as it may. Having seen you forever put my beloved Tatiana beyond my reach, I must ask you all something. Each and every one of you. Do any of you believe that what you are doing will ultimately help save or protect anyone except those who have been dead for hundreds of years? Do you think that what you are doing here will radically alter the course of events? Or are you merely making me angry, an anger that once you are dead will almost certainly spill over to all the friends you have made within my domain?
I mean, assuming we die, I suppose that would be the possibility.
So you believe
makes
you
you
have an honest... Oh, sorry, Patrick, go ahead.
Yeah, just going to say. Do you honestly believe that we're that spiteful? That everything we're doing is just to cause you pain and agony for the sake of causing you pain and agony? Newsflash to you, Strahd. I know it's kind of hard for you to understand this considering where you sit and whatnot. But, we're not like you.
Not yet.
Well, I mean, I'm Sort of like him. My parents dead. Have that in common.
Yeah, I'm also an orphan. Weirdly, I'm not that looking back over the straw. See, there's the key difference here. You're gonna... No, you, over there, are going to do terrible, terrible, horrible things. Mostly to... I don't know, have some vain payoff to all the terrible things you've done. And if it didn't go your way, tantrum like a child at us. Versus us who see genuinely horrible things happening and are trying to stop it. And if it doesn't alter the course of what's happening here, at the very least it's going to stop other people from being dragged into here and forced to go through the same things. One way or another, we're going to try and make something better here, Strahd.
I suppose that is your doom. The hero's folly. There was a time
Enough.
when I walked that same road. When I believed as you do. But your friends there, as he points to Donnel, I think Sergei has been showing him things, hasn't he?
Well, I mean, the sword has. I'm not entirely sure it's Sergei or not.
Tell me, have they showed you the field yet? The day I lost my first army?
Aye. Showed me that day you lost your first army.
The blood, the screams, the charnel house. That memory has stayed with me all this time. Because that was when I first began to question the hero's folly. The idea that somehow all the things I did would somehow, in some miraculous fashion, make the world a better place.
Well, that's the thing there, Strahd. Being a hero isn't about making the world a better place. It's about making life better for the few individuals that you can affect. It's foolish to think that you can change the entire world. I'm just a farm boy. You? You're just a petty and spoiled noble child. Never got a pat on the back by his parents.
I think it's fair to say he's very much an adult.
Miss Sigismund, I love you, but now's not the time.
Moreover, Strahd, you don't do things because you're going to get rewarded. You do things because they're the right thing to do.
I don't think... Okay.
When I set out, I did not expect a reward. I expected to set right what I saw was wrong with the world. Only after I saw the cost of it did I expect something in return. It is not right to expect anyone to pay such a high price and get nothing.
Well,
But
once again,
then-
a problem.
A child raised in poverty, with some false impressions that there was some greater purpose behind it, I suppose would not understand that. I have seen your type before, Sesna. Most call themselves pugilists, monks, brothers, sisters of the order, but they all think that through some meditation and purity of spirit, they can transcend themselves, and through their transcendence, attain some final fate. Some means by which they might help someone. Some means by which they might do the right thing. But right and wrong are often subjective, are they not? For instance, all the choices that I made through my life, and my unlife, led to where I am. Led to me being master of Barovia. This was not an unnatural thing. This was a right and natural progression of events. I led my armies, I outmaneuvered, outmanned, and outfought my enemies. And so, I claimed Barovia as my own. Even then, for my family. And yet you come here to depose me, because the manner in which I have ruled my lands is not to your liking. What's more, you only arrive in Barovia because of an utterly unnatural means of transportation that was beyond my control. In this scenario, I posit that you are the unnatural alteration to the natural state of affairs. So,
Hold on.
are you in fact right to do what you are doing? You wander into some place that has existed for hundreds of years without your intervention, and threaten to throw it all into turmoil. Do you think that the lesser barons will somehow agree to some harmonious arrangement between them, or do you think that one of them will inevitably seek to gain control? How many of the people of Barovia will die in the ensuing chaos that comes with my fall? Will you have done right by them, as they lay broken, bloody, and dying in the streets? At least with me, there is some order to all of this.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear you trying to talk ethics over the mountains of bodies and broken peoples and tortured souls. It's really hard to hear you. But I'm guessing you were trying to make it seem like we could potentially be the quote-unquote bad guys here, when in fact, you're not good. You're not at all good. You've never pretended to be good. Don't try to jump on a high horse all of a sudden because we're annoying you.
I do not.
Watch that lie.
I do not claim to be good. I
No,
claim
but you're
to be
jumping
a
on
force
high
of
horse.
order. Good, evil, right, wrong. These terms are subjective.
Sure is high up on that horse right now.
Don't act so petulant. Alright. You claim that you are the path to order. So, if you die, certain events may happen. It could be worse. And your point is?
My point is
Let's
this. Is what you are doing what the people of Barovia want? Or is it what you and a select few want?
Did you conquering Barovia, was that what the people of Barovia wanted? Or is it what you and a select few, your family, wanted? The answer's the same. It doesn't matter. You had the means. You did it. We had the means. We're going to attempt something.
And if it leaves your home in flames, Sigismund, the Bear of the Hills?
So be it. I'll be dead.
Oh no. If your home is in flames, little bear, it will mean that you have won. What need would I have to burn down the home of one who is already defeated? I did not do that with Argynvost Holt. I let it stand until it crumbled of age.
So, what you're telling me is that if I kill you, you honestly believe that Barovia will burn?
Barovia is home to madmen, sycophants, terrified peasants, and a few brave souls who thinks that will ever change.
Have you ever stopped to think? You've been Count for how long now? Going on at
Depends
least...
upon what calendar we are counting by, but if we are counting by our calendar, as the motions between the two of you, somewhere around 450 years? Give or take a decade.
Well, there's bound to be chaos once you die. If you die, that's just the natural order of things. Things change. Doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. Doesn't necessarily mean they're good. They're just different than they were before. Maybe everything will burn down just like you say it will. Or maybe, just possibly, when you die, all of Barovia will be so ecstatic that you are gone. They'll just move on with their lives. Maybe the Baron in Valaki will get strung up like a fucking dog for all the things he's done to his people, and maybe they'll just elect a new Baron. Maybe all three Barons will look around and think of all the terrible years that the devil Strahd did all of his terrible things, and they'll think, we'll just make a new count, or we won't need a count at all. We'll just all speak and agree, and we'll have opinions, and maybe we'll disagree. Maybe we'll stab each other to see who's right. Who knows?
So then, what you mean to say is that you have given no thought at all to the outcome. You don't know what will happen. You have no plan.
What I know is that something will happen, and once it does, if I am alive, I can react to it accordingly.
Strahd, with all due respect, it's only a fool that acts like they can understand everything that will happen from a given course of events. We've no way of knowing what'll happen, but we know we're going to find out once we kill you. Once we free this land to your control.
And there it is again. Once you free this land, you outsiders and rebels, you are deciding for the people of Barovia what their future will be. Have you asked them what they want?
Have you?
Of course not. They are my subjects. They do what I say.
Is that why they cower in their homes?
Because they know the price of upsetting the order.
That's a tyranny, not an order.
Some would say that kings are kings precisely because they are tyrants, but it's neither here nor there, really.
I think more important.
Sigismund, where did you find all these philosophy books in the wild?
There's a library in Valaki. I'll tell you later.
Look.
There's a lot you don't know about me.
It's just you're putting together very eloquent and very flowery philosophical talkings.
There's a lot you don't know about me. I'll tell you later.
Yeah, if you want a bit more philosophizing, let's put it this way. You're a tyrant, seemingly for their own good at this point. And a tyranny done for the good of its people is possibly the cruelest kind. The people literally know you as the devil, spit on the ground, Strahd. That's not something that people who generally like and respect their ruler do.
Who says you need to like or respect your ruler?
Sigismund not helping the conversation.
There's a lot to be said for a ruler that is loved and well respected by their people, Sigismund, and their ability to, govern their own.
Wouldn't know. I've never known a ruler that's loved or respected by their people.
He literally has not.
Let me tell you, it's important.
It's also pretty great.
Most of this, gesturing around, it's caused by that, gesturing to Strahd.
Good thought.
Yeah, the old sovereign of Taldor never let it get this bad.
Did the old sovereign turn into a vampire?
No, he got eaten by dragons.
Oh. Sounds like being a super powerful vampire might have helped him not get eaten by dragons. Just, not to play devil's advocate, but to play devil's advocate, I guess. Strahd, what do you do with a dragon?
Let me tell you right now, if I'm going to be completely honest, the Dragon Thordek would laugh at Strahd over here. Like,
oh, most definitely.
Not even like looking at, not even trying to mock you or make fun of you in any way. In complete reality, that is how that would go. He would roll up, he would take this place, and that would be the end of it.
It'd be a very Gatewatch on Amonkhet situation.
What?
A story I was told once as a child.
Okay.
Look, there was a dragon that played ping pong essentially with a man that was invincible.
We're getting off topic. I believe our host is making a point.
Oh. Yeah. That's tempting at that.
Well, he was making a point. You disagree with his point, which, I mean, you can disagree with his point.
Are you saying you would agree with his point?
No, I'm just saying he's making a point. You shouldn't say his point is bad just because you disagree with it.
Well, it's a bad point that we're disagreeing with, though.
No, I'm saying his point is bad because it's riddled with holes and hypocrisy from top to bottom.
So, your reason... hold on. The main issue you have with this. We have not asked the people. We don't know if they wish to be liberated, so we liberate them. When you are gone.
My point is that at least some of you seem to have this idea that what you are doing is in some fundamental way right. But as you, my jovial hill barbarian, have been so quick to point out...
I wasn't even born on a hill.
But your father's people descended from the hill folk. I can explain all of this to you later as I'm ripping out your intestines, but...
Start with my kidney. I had an orc do that once. It was terrible. Well, that was my liver.
Orcs here?
I don't think there's been orc in the valley in centuries. No, those were half-orcs. Does those count? But just very quickly, as an opinion, do half-orcs count as
According to this
orcs or
book I
humans?
found about pathfinding, they do count as both orcs and humans.
Oh.
Interesting, then.
Over there.
At any rate. But as Sigismund was, well, as he pointed out, you do this because you want to. Or because you feel you have some obligation.
If you stop and think about it, isn't that the reason anyone does anything? Because they want to? I mean, if you decide you don't want to do something, then you can just sleep your life away, or die, or do anything else. If you do something, it's because part of you wants to go do it.
That's another thing. That's another issue. You're the door. Simple as it put, even if we wanted to leave, we couldn't.
But you could have settled. Made people's lives better in smaller ways. Helps them with the little things to make their lives more bearable.
I've been hunting wolves all my life. You keep making more.
I think you will find that the natural effect of a male and female wolf being in the same den is what causes more wolves.
Yeah, but there's not enough food for them to live on here. How are they all still alive?
Do you think there's not other game in the woods?
I don't ever
is
see it.
Of course not. There are always wolves about.
Okay, listen. I've been alive for 22 years in Barovia. I should have seen something besides a fucking wolf.
Look, I'm not about to agree with the Devil Strahd, but that is actually a very fair point.
There are always lumbering barbarians, wolves, or large packs of people around. Deer, elk, rabbits, other forest game tend to avoid these things. And tend to have much sharper senses than yours.
He's not wrong, Mr. Sigismund. I hate to agree with him, but he's not wrong.
Really, dude, this
Listen.
is actually his only very good point.
This is the only time in this conversation he's made a logical point.
Listen, I just find it very hard to believe that my 22 years of life, I haven't seen a piece of a game, an animal game, that's not a fucking wolf. They should have started starving to death by now.
Unless there's plenty of game and they just avoid the more human
But there
settled
isn't,
areas.
though.
I mean, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of
The
absence.
only
Mr.
deer I've fucking seen was the Mad Mage.
That was an elk, Mr. Sigismund.
It wasn't a fucking wolf.
In
Mr.
fairness
Sigismund,
to your companion, that is the first quadrupedal android being he has ever seen.
Okay, fair. We're getting beyond the point. Strahd!
Now, hold
You're
on. Hold on. I haven't finished eating yet. I'm still allowed my pleasant conversation.
No, we're not ending the pleasant conversation. By the way, this is an impeccable dinner you've prepared, even if you are a raging cunt.
I will
carry your thanks to Rahad, or your praise to Rahadan. It is mostly his efforts.
Also, an odd question. If, say, I kill you, and I was to become Count of Barovia, is Rahadin in the deal? Or is he, like, so loyal I'd have
Is
to
he
kill
a
him too?
package deal? Do I
Rahad-
get your house elf if you give him a sock before you die?
Rahadin is his own man and free to make his own decisions as to his employment.
Okay, so I'd have to make him an offer. Got it.
Strahd, your only contention, your only point that you've offered of what us do and what, we want to do, instead of asking the people, you've never once asked anyone else what they wanted. Everything you've done's for yourself. You can't really sit on that high horse and act like we're the unnatural force here when before you showed up with your army, there was no Strahd in Barovia.
Okay, so I'm just gonna state Strahd has a fair point, but you also have a fair point.
So then, your counter is that so long as you at least meet the bar of a rampaging undead tyrant, all is well.
I want to touch on something really quick. You said you don't control the mist. Who controls the mist?
We met her.
No. It's a god that wanted a deal because she was bored, sure. But it was a god. I mean, she could just get rid of him because, she's a god.
There are limitations to what gods can do, Mr. Sigismund. It's not as...
Grandmother
I don't...
Knight. She does control the mist contractually. The mists contain my realm, my plane of existence. Grandmother Knight controls the borders to that plane. It is through dark bargains with her that my power came to be. Frankly, you have her to thank for the Devil Strahd.
It's 40-60.
If one sees a deranged man in the street and hands him a sword, whose fault are the murders on?
Well,
Well, obviously the sword if we look at, modern gun laws.
well, you see, I mean, here's the thing. There's a deranged man. He could have killed someone without that sword anyway. Did that person certainly assist that man murder those man's murders? Absolutely. Do they deserve all of the blame? No. Maybe leaning towards no.
I feel like we're getting to a topic that's neither here nor there. Again.
Again, most likely, yes.
The point is, the people don't appreciate you. The way you rule, the way you work, any of that. That is evident to see by just simply going through any territory that are inhabited by a significant amount of people here.
Okay.
Beyond that, Beyond that, we're deposing someone who's actively causing pain and suffering to apparently avoid potentially more pain and suffering. Not even a guarantee of it. This isn't a case of ethics you can argue. You are doing a quite terrible thing. And there may be some kind of power vacuum that happens as a result. But it's a damn sight unlikely that it's going to be anything as terrible as you. In fact, there's a very strong argument to say that the people would likely not do something akin to what you've done for a good long while, due to having lived through, you. But, hey.
I have a question before everyone else says anything.
Go ahead.
That's actually pretty important to me, and it occurs to me, you, putting Strahd, probably the only one who can answer this for me. About 10 years ago, would you know who commanded the guard in Valaki?
10 years ago, could you point me to a fruit that was on a particular tree?
Yes.
You lack the keen mind feat, I doubt that, heavily.
So then, we are clear on where we stand. I am the monster, you are the heroes, and
No,
every band of heroes before me, you will inevitably die trying to depose me, yes?
I wouldn't call you a monster. I'd just say you are the next...
I would call you a
They'd
monster.
call you a monster.
Because he is.
That...
Biting your own brother's throat out does that.
For the simple crime of the girl that he liked choosing the brother instead.
Strahd, you keep mentioning how Barovia is gonna burn without you. And you know what? Maybe it will. But there's a very simple principle in life, and it's gonna sound rich coming from a farmer of all people, but volcanic soil is more fertile. If the old Barovia burns with you, the new Barovia will be stronger for it. The people will rebuild. They'll move on from the pain you've caused them. They'll lead new lives. Where you're nothing. All your tyranny, all you ever done, good or wrong, will be nothing but a bad memory. A legend to scare children.
You assume that what will be left after the fire is ash. What will be left is glass.
We'll see. But I just realized, if you die, and I'm still me, and I'm still pretty well liked in Valaki and Barovia, I'll be count.
I highly doubt you have the administrative capabilities.
How hard can it be? All you've been doing is hunting people and sending out your zombies to kill people. Shit, after I deal with all your undead minions and whatnot, I'll find someone with the administrative capabilities.
And they will continue to call you Count because...
Because I kill you, and therefore I am Count.
That's not how it works. It isn't.
That is exactly how that works. He killed the last Count, he became Count. I kill him, I'm the Count.
I'm really sure that's not how this works, Mr. Sigismund.
That is not how titles transfer. At least, not usually.
Okay, I was going to ask that doesn't work where we're from. I'm not sure if that's how that works here. I was actually going to ask Strahd if that's how that works here.
That's a fair point. I was not given thought to maybe that's how it worked here, but according to Strahd, there, deserve being called Mister. That's not how it works here.
Now hold on. You came in with your army. You conquered it. Clearly there was a Count before you were here.
No, there were several small settlements.
He came and took
Allow me to ask a question. Do you think this place was always called Barovia? That Valaki was always called the Valaki, and that Kresik was always called Kresik?
Okay, there were only 3 cities with no one to fight. It just seems like a waste of time. What's the point in fighting if it's not even going to... Okay.
There was an opponent. Argenvost the Silva.
Oh.
I think his head is still somewhere around here. But he and his knights sought to keep a gentle hand of justice and fairness through his valleys. They failed. They could not protect the people from me.
You see, whenever you make points like that, it really kind of defeats your entire even facade of ethics.
Do not misunderstand. I know what I have done. I know what it makes me. I merely sought to ensure that you understood what your actions made of you.
Okay, but just to be clear, title transferring does not work like that in Barovia.
No. No, unfortunately, killing me does not make you my heir apparent.
Good, because I don't think any of us are really fit for male administrative capabilities. No offense, Miss Sesna. All the offense, Mr. Sigismund.
I wonder if I kill the Baron of Valaki or be the Baron of Valaki, because no one likes him.
We just established that that's not how...
Others would have to agree to follow you or be put in line, which at that point, you're really just becoming the next me. Which I feel defeats the entire purpose of what you're doing. If you're just going to be the next me, then just let me be me. I'll be a better me than you could ever be.
He's not entirely wrong, but we're not trying to be the next you.
That's not entirely...
free the people from you.
That's not entirely wrong, but it is wrong. You see, I'm not gonna be the best. I'm not gonna be you. I'm not gonna be the next you. I'm gonna be better than you. I'll be perfect.
Yes, because you are so highly recommended for the position.
And you were before you came along with an army and killed the last guy who had it?
I was raised and groomed to command and lead for years. So yes, being taught, trained, and raised to do this, yes,
well,
I am better at this than you.
There's no one here like that once you die, so...
Except for all of the smaller barons who have done this their entire lives and who have raised their children to do the same.
Let's just go over the list. The Baron in Kresik, who doesn't want to leave Kresik and has no business to doing anything else.
Because of Strahd, and after Strahd's gone, we'll likely change.
Even before that, no one fucking liked them. They didn't. They were on the border.
I do not believe there are any records of them before me. But
I think Kresik as a whole became Kresik after Strahd.
And then there's Valaki, where if the Baron has any children, they'll be lucky to be left alive.
He does, and you assume that the sins of the father will fall to his children as well.
Depends
and
on
you assume that there is not another element in Valaki that is primed and ready to take charge. perhaps even lead in the deposing of the current leadership.
I think
No,
Mr.
it would
Strahd...
be.
Sorry again, you don't deserve to be called Mr. Again, I think Mr. Strahd here is mentioning that we missed a side quest.
And there's Ismark, who, I guess,
Ismark's not cut out for leadership. He's a
Well-
good man, a good fighter, but he's not a leader.
well, he's the Baron of Barovia now, so
Most of Barovia will likely be dead before he is, so... Not even threatening them, just stating it's been a talent decline for quite some time.
so you really don't know who the captain of the guard was 10 years ago.
I believe he said that, yes.
I'm making sure. Because I'd really like to know before I go to the captain of the guard and murder him violently.
As he looks to Sesna and Donnel, is this who you choose to associate yourself with?
Personal
This is
reasons.
not helping your image.
We're questioning it. Well, at least I am. The more he talks.
Yeah.
Normally, he's a lot more eloquent and not this.
Listen,
He's a bit all over the
Hey,
place.
punch. Sigismund, you've always been a bit punchy, but what is this about? Because this is the first we're really hearing of this.
I don't want to have this. I don't want to have this.
We're
discussion
having this
Strahd right here.
conversation now because you're talking about murdering a man who's, by all accounts, done us no wrong.
Done you no wrong. Yes.
Which is exactly why we want to know why you want to kill a man that we have no reason to think would do a wrong.
Because he probably killed my mother.
I see. Was that so hard?
No, I just didn't want Strahd to know that.
Would you like me to play you a sad song on my organ?
No, see, because I knew you didn't care. And again, it's
Then-
fine.
Why did it? Never mind.
Honestly, I'd expect you to play some kind of like marketplace, like jam Strahd, something that seems more upbeat, just to try and be a jerk.
I'm a monster. I'm not a monster.
Can you play Stanford and Fuge? Do you know them?
It's been a few years. Give me a moment to think. I can maybe come up with the chords again.
This is something we'll probably need to talk about in a bit more breath later.
Well, you did mention that you plan on this being our last meal. What exactly do you mean according to that?
I think you made it very clear. He's gonna kill us when we leave the dinner table.
It's always nice to ask, Mr. Sigismund.
Whether or not my hands are directly involved is not really a pertinent point of the matter. Very few have survived this castle and its own trials.
I mean, not to be offensive to your castle, but the door is right there.
It seems much easier now than it will be when you try to leave.
Well,
That
then,
said,
speaking of which, I'm done with my dinner.
well, before we go our separate ways, Miss Sesna, you still had one question from outside of the death house, yes? Have you put any thought to what you would ask?
Throwback.
That's right, he remembered.
Should have been thinking about that.
Strahd will remember this.
There's the question, actually, now that I take a moment to think about it. If whatever force holds power over this place exists before you,
Hold on. Jeffrey, you're making noise and I can't hear Pat.
Yeah, if whatever force has power over this place has been here long, will be here long after you. Words. But it only has the power to bring things in and, well, sorry, expand the borders, and that's it. Why is it that the only way to actually get out of this place for good is through you?
You claim to have met Grandma's Knight, but maybe you did not listen to her. I assume my order bores her, and she would like a change of pace. The way out is through me, because she does not want you to leave until I am deposed. And by our contract, by the pacts I have made with her, she cannot directly depose me herself.
Fair enough. Actually, if you would give me the kindness of one other question, I know you have no reason to, but if I remember rightly, there are two gods of this place. She's the first, and you aren't the second, so who is the second?
The second was the Morning Lord. But my ascension, well, it has placed much of his power beyond this place.
Enough. Well, I suppose that's the questions I have.
Very well then. If any of you are not yet done, then I suggest you finish your dinner and your wine. I do not know if I will see you again, but if I do, it will be to kill you. But I must say, Sesna, as it was not your hands that put my beloved Tatiana beyond me, and since you do cut such a lovely figure in your attire, if at such a time you wish to beg for mercy, I will be more than willing to grant it. Eternity as one of my brides has its advantages. Farewell.
I'll be seeing you soon, Strahd.
And without any further retort, he simply...
Know your enemy!
Alright.
That was plenty more than a goddamn minute.
Yeah, it was. What would you like to know?
I would like to know where the fuck he's got the balls. No, that's not one of my options. I want to know his. That's fucking pointless. It's fucking pointless. I never know that's lower than mine. I want to know in relation to my scores, his dexterity score, and his total class levels, if any.
No, that's right. Well, total class levels, none.
Damn, I thought he'd have wizards.
As for his dexterity score, as he fades away, you realize whatever feeling you got for it was likely inaccurate as the illusion fades.
As Donnel's already standing, he just takes the last bit of his wine.
That was a... No. None of what that offer was.
And I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight.